Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. Thank you, George Costanza. I love your show, man. It's great to be here today. Thank you, everyone, for coming by. Man, there's been a huge discussion already in the chat, and I'm way behind it, of course. So we'll see who was here, and then I'm going to just have to blast right back up to it. Man, it is good to see everyone here today. It's Monday, 1 p.m. Michael Muller was second. I don't see who was first on there, so we'll call you first for today. What's going on, Mad Maldy? Well, Bill, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here today. James Faust, hello again. Thanks for coming in. Keck Special Forces was here but blasted out before it could get in. Kim, it's good to see you back. I haven't seen you for a while. Gub Scout, hello. What is happening today? Michael Muller got switched to a 389 automatic before he had a 10-speed with a Coronado. Yikes. Don't mind the automatic. Look, take the automatic if you can get it. Everybody, gives them grief, but look, just take it. They're coming, so there's nothing you can do about it, right? Hello in Atlanta, Stan. Will is here. Hello, Nathan. What's happening? Big, huge Mike going good here today. Good to see you. Yeah, just finished making your breakfast. Nice. At least somebody's having something to eat today. Brandon in St. Rose, Louisiana. Oh, Mad made it first. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right, then. Hey, Mad Maldy, that one didn't show up here. You were even earlier than this updated. All right. Kay Wayne, what's going on out there? Russell Craig today is here. Yeah, okay, good. I was wondering how Smith Transport is going. Great, they took care of you, got you home, got you the truck you wanted. Couldn't be impressed. That's good. That's good. That's good news for everybody else that they do that as well. There's so many companies that let's just say do not tell the exact truth, right? Jose, what's happening? Sam from Wyoming, rainy. Yeah, it was cold here. It's only 40s today. I'm surprised. 30-something degrees last night. The white night, what's going on? Josh is here today. What's happening with you today, Josh? As I'm trying to move a little piece of thing over here. We go. Right. Okay. A Blue Lion. Hello. What's happening? Right. This is fascinating, right? They're like, what is he doing? GT40. What is happening? Do you have one? Do you drive it to work? ABP 5000. Yes. Very young looking. I get carded all the time. Like, how do you even drive? I think just riding your CDL. Right. Look. The don't want to see the truck manufacturing companies do as the automakers. The automatics are more than half of the industry as it is. Chris, what's going on in Billings, Montana? Is there still snow on the ground? I bet there is. 30 for a reset in Minnesota. Well, you can go make snow angels up there. Jeff, hey, what's going on? 45 in Chicago today. Right, after snow. I did see you got snow yesterday. Didn't quite make it down here, so enjoy that. Mad Maldy, yes, you were super early before this even updated here. Mike from Oregon. Wow, man, everybody's in the Northwest today. Is there a bunch of loads out there? Hirschbach lease owner, JX Logistics. That's a great name on there. What's happening? Right, we spoke before, exactly. On a breakdown status from home time, waiting for a mechanic. That's no good. Hopefully you're getting paid for it at least. Brandon, yeah, Louisiana is the place to be this week. We're going to be at 71 tomorrow, though, so not going to be terrible anyway. Okay, Steven's going to be starting a new job, making $1,200 a week guaranteed. That's what I like, right? I'm a huge fan of a guaranteed pay. That eliminates a lot of the problems in trucking where we don't know, you're going to sit all day or somewhere. Then at least you're going to make $1,200, $60,000 minimum. At least you can count on that every week. There's none of these $28 days because you had to sit. Kim, the best part, the truck doesn't have the radar lane keep. Wow, I'm surprised they don't have any of that at Smith. I mean, I thought it's coming new on the trucks, but I agree. That's the first thing you turn off. You hit that button to turn off the lane keep. Rain, it's behind off last night in Pennsylvania. The only electronics sitting here in the e-logs. Well, yeah, they have no choice but to do that, certainly. And you like them. I like them, too. Who's not a fan of them? We're all fans. 90 in New York. Oh, good afternoon for 90 in New York. From 90, hopefully, right? Jared, you got your first trucking tattoo. I don't know if we want to see it or not. I'm not sure about that. You may want to post a picture of it. I'm not sure. 54 degrees and sunny. What is the trucking tattoo now? We've got to know about it. I already want to know about it. Ezekiel from Washington State. Wow, my wife will be flying out there in August to see her son. So if you're still there, you can say hello to her. Roger Penske in Eloy, Arizona at 78 degrees. Nice. You're going to DQ after this delivery. Peanut Buster parfaits for everyone. On Roger. They are automated manuals and automatic. Yeah, look, they're not automatics. I always say automatic. Everybody says automatic. The automatics are just manuals that the truck shifts for you. It's an automated manual transmission. Saying it's an automatic is much simpler. Oh, just like my Focus, right? It wasn't really an automatic, right? It was two, manual, 3-speed manuals that shifted themselves. But if you tried to explain that to people, they couldn't understand it. It's easier just to say, put it in D and it's an automatic. You're just sitting at home waiting on a driver trainer to hit the road, maybe Saturday. Oh, yeah? So are they paying you for this time? That's curious. I mean, this is Monday. If you're going to wait till Saturday, are they going to pay you for any of that time, or did you choose to take the time off? And who is it if you want to tell us? I'm just curious of what you think of the place so far. It'll help other people to decide. RA is in Greeley, Colorado. Oh, over by JBS. That's pretty good. You're in Allentown, Mr. Costanza. Not sure what Billy Joe saw in this place. Yeah, I hope there's no shrinkage over there. I'm a huge Seinfeld fan. All right, hello from Alabama, 65 South. At least it's warmer down there. The trucking tattoo, is a compass and set of chains. Oh, that's interesting. How does that, how would that relate to trucking exactly? A compass and a set of chains. I'm curious on, how that relates over to trucking. Compass and set of chains. Did anybody see this this week? What do you think about this? Some fleets embrace paid lodging for drivers as an alternative to sleeping in the sleeper. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk to. People always complain, they write to me, Mark, you don't get to the topics fast enough. Okay, I agree. I don't, and I should. So what do you think about that? What do you think about going and being in a sleeper and or staying in a motel? The companies are going to day cabs and just putting drivers in motels every night, and it's solving the parking problem. Because it turns out at motels, there's no problem parking, at least these companies that are talking about this. Let's see. Was heading to Greeley as well, but JBS had to shut down. All right, there it is. Right, was supposed to be home over the weekend. Saying no reload until you get home. Maybe you got the tattoo from a trucker. Yikes. We don't. Hopefully, it was at least a legit tattoo place. You don't want to get one of the backroom TA tattoos. So these companies are saying that the trucks are able to haul more freight, so they're able to offset the money from the motel. It turns out the warranty is longer, which I didn't know. So I didn't realize that the less idle time, you get to extend the warranty on the truck at no cost. So they're increasing that, and because the drivers aren't idling. What else are they saying? Oh, they have less turnover. Drivers seem to love it. So I wondered what everybody thought about that. Drivers seem to love it because you get to sleep in your own bed. You get a shower, a private shower. You have your own room, TV, can relax. Free breakfast in the morning saves you money. The drivers are keeping the hotel points. They're safer. You don't have a bunch of people knocking on your door usually, unless it's the maid or whatever. Motels for everyone. What's up with Swift hauling illegal aliens? I was wondering if anybody was going to ask about this. Right. What do you think about Jerry Moyes offering to Swift to haul illegals? Okay, so look, I heard about, I read this article. It was sent to me. It isn't true. If you go look into it, I so wanted it to be true, but it isn't true. So that article just turns out doesn't seem to be any validity to it. I thought, man, that's not a bad idea, right? You could just stack the people in there. You can't haul people in a trailer. You have to have access to the outside from inside of a trailer. So you could haul people like in an RV because they can open the door, but you can't haul people in a semi. It's illegal. And that article, I don't know how it got around so fast. I did see it. Swift is not hauling illegals in their trailers. Right. And so many things that we could talk about them, but that's not one of them. You could fit more freight on a day cab. The other thing, because it's lighter, they are able to get more in them. You see this, the picture was a tanker, but other companies are doing it as well. And the Popeyes at the TA, yeah, that is true. There was a TA in Kentucky where apparently got served Popeyes chicken and hepatitis. So that's a real problem. Go get yourself checked if you ate at that Popeyes. I don't have that article, but you can look that up easily. Popeyes, TA, hepatitis, and somebody there had hepatitis for a few weeks. It's a real problem. The good news is that by parking a motel, you at least get to take a shower. You get a shower, but the other thing the drivers like, you get the points. So say you stay at a motel 5 nights a week like these drivers do. Imagine how many hotel points you get every week. I was just talking to another friend of the show here, Geeks Trucking, and he commented that the Best Western, every third day is free at the Best Western. Or spend 3, get 1 free, something to that effect. You'd get tons of free days. So you have that benefit, and you're always going to have somewhere to park. The drivers so far seem to love it. So that's really good. All these points you're getting up right. Stan says it's tax day. Yeah, everybody do their taxes or file an extension. It needs to be done today. Except for what? Massachusetts and some other state, because it's Massachusetts Day or something. Seriously, they get until the 17th, I swear to you. So there's a couple states where you get a couple days, but look, you should already have it either figured out, or you can get a free extension. It doesn't cost anything. They give it to you automatically till October. You could do that easily in all these tax things. I personally use TurboTax, even though they're not a sponsor. I've used them for many, many years. Love it. I recommend people use an electronic filing system so that all your numbers are done correctly. I'm sure there's still people filling out forms, but not me. There's a dumper double. They have an office in Phoenix, motel rather than sleeper, $16 an hour plus overtime. That's, 16 an hour would certainly not be great. Try and make the sleeper in a nightly hotel. See, so what do you think? Are you there or not? And I think it's not a bad idea. This place was letting the drivers find the hotels, so I think it's a really good idea. You're going to have parking. You don't have to drive around. They also said they're experiencing less accidents, less claims. Why? People do not run into their trucks at the truck stop. So that was an interesting problem as well. 60-foot trailers are coming. Will our pay go up for moving more freight? No. And years ago, I hauled some 57-foot trailers out of here. They were Swift trailers. And we took them to the rail yards and just dropped them off because they're illegal. So they had some kind of special permit to take them there. And they were going out west for Swift. I thought, and the company's like, can you go haul these? I'm like, yeah, they're empty, whatever. So years ago, they were using 57s. I don't know whatever happened to them. It was specially marked for Texas. I don't know if that's still legal. Not sure. Haven't really seen them on the road. Help from a guy at Popeyes in the TA, Kentucky, either at Florence or Walton. Right. If you've eaten at those Popeyes, it was Florence or Walton, right, at a TA, and got your Popeyes, you also might have got hepatitis. Awesome. So there was no charge for the hepatitis, by the way. They didn't charge you for it. So go get tested for that. Tell a doctor that, hey, I ate at one of these places, and then submit some kind of claim to Popeyes. I'd certainly write to them about it. You're going to need to prove you were there. So hopefully you paid for it on a card and can get that receipt. William has had a CLC card for 4 years, never spent a night at a truck stop and rack up free hotel nights. What do you think about that? What do you say to people? What do you think about being able to sleep at a motel every night? And that CLC card, I think it guarantees you 24-hour motel. So you can go in there at noon and you don't have to leave until noon the next day, if I remember how that worked right. Jerry Moyes isn't even running Swift, right? Supposedly he has retired. Cattle car would do. You wouldn't want to sleep in that, I hope. Rather sleep in a truck than a hotel. There are no bed bugs in the pop, as you can find in the trucker's report. Okay. Well, there are no bed bugs, but there are other problems. And it is more convenient at the hotel in that you have your own room, your own shower, and they commented a lot of them have laundry services. So you have laundry there. You don't have to wait behind people, doing their laundry. You also get all the points. You get breakfast. Love that hepatitis from Popeyes. That's really good, right? They could change their name. Chicken with a hep of yummy. That's good. Problem is the hotels will run out of truck parking. I thought about that too, that if the trucks actually start doing this in mass, where a lot of them are, there's not going to be enough room to park trucks. I agree. But for right now, there's not that many. When you go down the road, look off the side at the hotels with truck parking. There's not that many trucks parked in there. So as of right now, there is plenty of room to park, get your hotel, and, do whatever. Hotel equals a short trip to the toilet. Yes, exactly. That's another thing. The drivers commented that they were cleaner, that they enjoyed being able to wash every day and stuff. So have I seen anything about Pride other than what we were talking about, right? 70 cents for teams. Somebody had written to me about teams. 70 cents for teams. I mean, certainly worth calling them and seeing what they have to say. Oh, it's Patriots Day in Massachusetts. All right. I knew there's some kind of day. There were 2 states. I don't remember what the other one was. But Massachusetts, you get extra time because of Patriots. or whatever. And most of the rest of us, though, have to file by today or file an extension, your choice. Joshua had Popeyes yesterday at Lodi, and in 2 weeks we'll be going to get tested, presumably. It's Road Tex LTL out of Bridgewater Township. You're not getting paid for this time. Awesome. They pay us $100 per day while training. Team driving $3,000. I don't like that, right? 40 cents per mile on weekly trip. I don't like training as a team. You're not really teaming. You're not really training, right? So not a fan of it at any company, whether you're with a student or with your trainer. How does he train you from the bunk? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm sad that they're not paying you. If they don't have a truck, how do they not have a truck waiting, for you, a trainer, if they can't get drivers? They should have all these extra trainers and tons of just waiting and waiting. We just can't get drivers. Why? Because they're lying, right? There's plenty of drivers. Hey, Todd, it's 75 in Benton, Arkansas. Oh, at Walmart headquarters. Nice. That's a pretty good day. OIDA says right now the number of current CDLs in the United States is 3.9 million current CDL holders. So now that's all of them, including bus drivers and everything. But there are 3.9 million CDL holders in the United States right now. You were curious about Western Flyer Express, if I heard anything bad about them. Yeah, I did a whole video about them, right? So I'm out from them. I do have a video about Western Flyer Express. Check it out. Swift has problem moving 53-footers. I know. I mean, the trailer, when you looked at it, it didn't look that much longer. But when you put it next to another one, it really was huge. And, of course, no extra pay. They're like, oh, it's for lighter freight. I'm like, it doesn't make any difference. You should pay your drivers extra. But it wasn't my problem. I just sent it on the rail. Day cab is no cooking in the truck. Well, yeah. Well, there's room for your cooler. You can bungee it to the passenger seat. No room for your microwave, which you won't need, or stove. Back eating crappy out of restaurants. And truck stops. I don't know about that. Motels, you can have whatever food you want delivered, certainly. Ever tried taking a nap in a day cab? No, I don't nap in my day cab. I mean, it seems facetious or whatever, but I've always thought that drivers should be ready to do a day's work. I have a day cab. I don't nap in it. I just work. And presumably, you'll get a much better night's sleep at the motel, and you won't have to take a nap. There's also that side of it, Digging the hotel, but your company Pride reimburses on paid parking. Well, would they reimburse for the hotel? That's the thing of it. Was that you remember seeing 57 trailers also? 57 and 14s, exactly. I took some to the rail and just dropped them off because they weren't allowed to drive them anywhere, but they had a permit to take them from Wabash here up to the rail. So yeah, I took tons of them up there, and what happened beyond that, I don't know what they did with them. The Swift president offered to transport illegals. That's not a true story. I saw that story. It turns out not to be a true story. I don't know how it got out so quickly, but I don't put any faith in that. What about hauling 2 53-foot trailers? I'm not opposed to it if they pay extra for an experienced driver. We pull Rocky Mountain doubles. I've pulled a 40 and a 28, 48 and 28, no problem. So they already allow those here. 57s are used in California hauling empty cans around. You can't really put any weight on them due to the 40-foot bridge law. Right. You got a bridge law out there, but light loads, well, you can just pack them tight in there. But they weren't allowed to drive them from here where they were going, so they went to the rails. William likes staying in hotels too. Isn't it great? Look at all the points you would get. I thought, man, this is not a bad idea for people. And it's saving the company so much money that the offset of the motel it's not costing them anything. That's what they were saying. So they're paying for the motels, no problem. Swift has a problem backing 53s. Wait till they get 57s. Part of that is training, right? It isn't just Swift. It's all these companies that don't train anybody properly and put people out on the road before they are ready. Mr. Skeptical, hey, what's going on? It used to be regional in a day cab. It was no good. Most hotels don't have truck parking. You'd have to find it in advance, certainly. You'd be so tired, couldn't take a nap when they unloaded you. I know, I don't know, maybe I'm different on that. If you have digestive issues, the toilet is right there. That's true. And a lot of hotels like this, in the picture, they're parked just on the side of the parking lot. So they pull 53s on the toll road. Yeah, 2 hooked together, right? What company does hotels? This was Ozark. I have the link to the article in the description if you want to read it, and it talks all about it. CLC card guarantees 50 a night for participating. I thought they guaranteed 24 hours also, so you could show up anytime and get the room for 24 hours. You didn't have to be booted out at checkout time. They use 57s in California for beer cans, Bud and Miller. 57 by 14, they can just stack them in there. How do you know his wife is cheating? It was switching when you get home. He's still trying to back out. Oh, nice. Very good, George Costanza. That would have been good on the show. Truck stops need better food other than buffet. You know, you can go on the buffet. You don't have to eat 12 plates of mashed potatoes. There's also that. You know, the choices that you make are choices. So, you know, I did a video yesterday. I'm doing intermittent fasting now, and so every week you should also come and fast with me, but which you don't have to do anything. It's easy. There's no macronutrients. I don't have to write anything down. You just simply don't eat anything, and that's the easiest way to do it. But look, the buffet, it has a salad bar too. You can eat on a buffet and not have any calories. So it's all in the choices that we make. You cook in your truck and haven't eaten a truck stop in 2 years. It'd be something to have a setup in the day cab, have these ovens and stuff all hooked up in there. But, the company is saving money. You could have food, Uber Eats or whatever, would deliver from any restaurant in the area. So you'd actually have a better choice than the truck stops. And a cooler will go in this seat and just bungee it down. Troy, good afternoon from Charlotte. What's happening? You're having an APU installed. Oh, and a nice truck. Will I be able to scale more weight? Yes, actually on my website, I have the scale laws there on the links page, truckinganswersnation.com/links. And on the top of that page is an infographic. How about that word, right? That shows you the extra weight you can put on there. You get a few hundred extra pounds for your APU. Popeyes uses Sprite in their biscuits. I don't know what they do. See, the problem is Lafayette doesn't have a Popeyes. Isn't that stink? I don't have a Popeyes chicken up here. Eating in the truck is cheaper. It could be cheaper, but remember, you also have this, that breakfast, if you stay at the motel, would be free. So you wouldn't have to pay for breakfast at all. So there's that benefit, right? Sam, apologies for being tardy. Yes, what is going on here today? You are accepted today. Thank you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Motels have a small gym, and that's what these drivers were saying too, that there's also a gym. You can get some exercise. You could just go walk around too. So Blue Lion had a stuck starter. Now it's running again. That's what I'm talking about. So that's what we want to see from that. You get 400 pounds in your drives if it's mounted on the back of or mounted on the front of your drives. Right. So, and there's a chart that I have on the website that exactly shows where you can do that. I forgot to mention, aside from those 3.9, how many foreign drivers are bigger companies bringing in? Well, look, Oscar, all I'm saying is that the official numbers, official CDL holders in the United States, 3.9 million. That is the official number. People that are not official, we can't count them, right? Bentonville, Arkansas is home to Walmart. Yes. Walmart is there. That's HQ for Walmart. Western Flyer Express is within their process to progress. Well, they have to progress from wherever the heck they are. If they go over 53, you're done. They've gone over. This was years ago when I transported these trailers. You'll hang the keys up before taking out a street corner due to company greed. I cannot remember how many years it was. It was well over 10 years ago that I took those out of there. And because I'm like, why are they... why do they have to go to the rail? And then they're just like, well, they're big. And I'm like, oh, it goes kind of big. Hey, Eddie, good afternoon. It's vacation, but crappy in New York. Well, look, we got a couple more weeks, and we can hope for better weather. It's supposed to be 71 here tomorrow, even though it's not 50 yet here today. Too many variables to be using a day cab for over the road, especially as a reefer driver. Hence the nap time and waiting to unload. Yeah, I agree. Look, I thought about this too, Chris. The variables are, you could sit somewhere and then, you're out of hours. You don't have a sleeper. You can't park right outside the place. That's the downside of it. You can't sit there and then they're done with you, but you have 10 minutes. And so when they go, well, you can park here. Well, there's no off-duty time for you, right? There's no sleeper time for you to log. So it depends, I guess, on what you're doing too. But some companies are finding that drivers like it and it's working out for the company as well. I mean, think about it. You get a motel every night. I mean, it seemed like a good idea. It depends where you run and stuff. Yeah, I just not a napper kind of person. Backing a 60-footer in a tight spot, especially when you're at the 40-foot mark in California. You actually, Kim prefers a sleeper. You've always found it to be a better way to sleep than if you were forced to sleep on a crappy mattress or something. Like you have your own truck mattress. You wouldn't be able to bring your own mattress. I guess you could bring some kind of roll-up pad. I don't know. Look, it's up and down. That's why I wanted to see what everybody thought about it. That's the case in Phoenix for backhauls. There's a lot of sitting. If you're sitting a lot, can you nap there? I knew a guy that brought a board and would put him across the seats. It doesn't seem like it's that comfortable. Mike, hey, good, thanks. I appreciate that. Started driving at 21, right? Same here. Don't think you could go through the 30,000 plus miles in 6 stages of upgrade. Oh, so you're at Redaway. Oh, what do you think about Redaway? Yeah, and they're doing a better job of it than most places, because at least Holland, right, with the same basic place, will hire you here as a student. So but yeah, going back through all that, I don't know if you did it, but when I started driving, I just started driving on Monday. I got a job out of truck school and went to work. There wasn't any training at all. A few companies came, Direct Transit came, and CRST came and talked to us, but there really wasn't training. It was either get a job or that was about it. You spend more money eating in the hotel than eating in the truck. You could feel if someone's messing with the truck and don't end up sitting in bricks after you get ready to head out. Maybe. It depends, right? Hotel for burrito night. At least on Taco Tuesday, maybe you could get a hotel. You missed the Flying J buffet. The Petro always had the nicest buffets, I thought. I like the pizza at the J. You also had those large selection of pizzas. Hotels that allow for flexible schedules, either because if you have to figure out where you're going ahead of time, the hotel, something comes up. Well, you'd have to be able to know where you're going to reserve a room and stuff. Look, there's good and bad to it. You'd have to go somewhere else, otherwise you're out of luck. I guess, also in this day cab, if you're out of hours, that'd be PC time. According to the FMCSA, you can drive to safe, legal parking. So that wherever that is going to be in a day cab would also, would work for them too. A keto and fast, all your digestive issues are gone and blood work is good. You lost 50 pounds. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's really good. By the second day, you feel better. I mean, your mind is clear. You're able to think better. I really think it's really something. I'm going to continue to do it. Most hotels along the interstate have truck parking. Yeah, a lot of them have truck parking. The Himalayan sea salt, which I also use, puts your body into ketosis, which burns fat. Yeah, I eat some Himalayan sea salt and drink mineral water during the day, and that's it on a fast. That's all I do, right? It's easy to figure out. Nothing to write down. Ooh, did I get this macronutrient? I don't know. Yesterday, somebody told me about potassium, so I'm looking into that. But otherwise, a few days a week without eating, that'll save you some money right there. You save a lot of food money when you don't ever buy any food. Your company has an app. We work out if it lists every hotel. Oh, on their network. That's interesting. So does it show the hotels that have truck parking? Probably. Truck's got to smell after cooking in it. Depends what you cook, right? You're sitting at the door watching this. This day, if you go camping, you camp in a hotel. That's how my wife likes to camp. If it's not a motel, she's not a big camper otherwise. She likes having air conditioning and stuff, and I agree with her. Did I hear anything from that company who took the video of the driver tailgating? No, I have not heard anything. How ironic you asked. That video, I have a video about it, which will come out tomorrow on the channel. And so I emailed them the video, nothing. So I called them. Oh, they go, here, you can talk to the safety person. They didn't answer. Please leave me a message. Left her a message, nothing. Tweeted at them even. And tweeted the video out to them, direct, nothing. So tomorrow, video comes out with it, and maybe they'll contact me. Apparently, they don't care what their drivers are doing. I've given them ample opportunity to talk to me and get their side of it. Roderick, what's happening? I mean, look, that video was, that guy's going 70 easy, 25 feet behind a car. It's crazy. It's crazy. And so I stuck a video together, and it'll come out tomorrow. You have a sleeper and don't even use it because you're home every night. Yeah, I don't understand that. There's some companies here that advertise in Lafayette, like AMT advertises a lot, and because they deliver trailers for Wabash National, and so it says, and their ads, home daily or whatever, and then you go by the place, it's all sleepers. So I don't understand. Maybe because you can, if you're stuck, you're napping, but they're saying just drop the trailer off and bobtail back. So I don't know. Maybe they get them cheaper. That's a good point. What's the 8-2 split in a day cab? There is no split in a day cab. It's all 14 hours and you're done, right? There's no splitting because no sleeper. So it would depend on what you're doing. Did you hear about what the driver that was found dead in his trailer? He was found hanging from the roof. I read that article too, and I looked into it, and it turns out, it was debunked. It turns out the driver was found dead in his cab, and it was believed to be a suicide. The autopsy was done. There was no foreign entry into the cab. He wasn't found in the trailer. I don't know how it got to be that. There were no ligature marks, no rope marks on his neck, none of that, like it was reported. So they actually came out the officials came out and said, look, there's a lot of this going around. It isn't true. It turns out that driver, he had mental problems, his family said. His family doesn't even believe that there was any wrongdoing done, and they took his body back, and the family is not having their own autopsy done, which they could do. They have decided not to. They said this is what happened to him, and that's sad. And, for anybody, look, if you are thinking of anything like that, right, there's tons of phone numbers to call. Please call somebody. It's crazy. It's just crazy to do that. There's always somebody waiting to take your call. You took personal 800 suicide, I think is actually the number. So please call, please. I took personal leave for 30 days so you could take care of some doctor and dentist appointments. Okay. When you wanted to return, they wanted your medical records. Yeah, if you're off, especially if you say you need to take care of some doctor stuff, they may want to see that you're legal. Now, I don't know if I'd give them the medical records. Maybe. They can at least ask you to take another physical. You could say, look, I want to take another physical and, at you guys' expense. So, yeah, if you're off any length of time, they can do that. Yeah. Did I read the Swift offered to transport? Yeah, I talked about that, right? That is not true. That thing about Swift, I don't know how that got out, and that's not true. They said, this article, I should have linked it, I guess. I didn't know everybody would be all on it, that they would stack illegals on top of the freight and then deliver them for $1,200 a person. That is absolutely not true. It's not true. Swift is not doing that. The hotels let the losers who have to pay for people impress the prostitutes. Hey, look I'm at the Motel 6. Look at me. What are my thoughts on drivers charging the other drivers for information? Well, you're welcome to pay for information or not. It is your choice, right? So nothing better than a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Look, they're super delicious. How come Flying J got rid of the buffets? I don't know. They are always well attended. So probably once the pilot came in, they can use that to put in fast food and maybe make more money because they loan the place out to fast food. The Flying J north of here at the 240 has a Denny's in it, I think. So, they probably lease it out to Denny's and Denny's has to pay them a bunch of money. It's always money. Whatever it is, it's because they can make more money. Ryan, hey, what's going on? I had talked about you, not you personally. The van is the most common type of trailer, but most owner-operators haul flats or reefers, so that is interesting. A little no salt in your water for potassium. Oh, does no salt have potassium in it? That's interesting, because I was thinking about that. All right. Well, in the morning I also take some apple cider vinegar. How about that? So, which has no calories. A tablespoon of that. That'll heat you up for the morning, won't it? $85,000 a year, no cost insurance for dependents. Right away. All health insurance is paid. No sleepers. Right. You'll retire from there. You do a few overnights and some turns with weekends off till Sunday, and they're paying the motel. Yeah, excellent. I've always said Holland here, which is up in this area. Absolutely. When you used to smoke, you ate maybe every 2 days. Really? Now you cook Campbell's chunky stuff. It's good in 2 cans. It gets you full for $3. 2 cans, $3. Just joining. How do you do over the road with no sleeper? Well, companies are putting drivers in motels. Simple as that. Some companies have decided to put people in motels. They give you a day cab and let you stay at the motel every night. You don't have to park at the truck stop anymore. Trade-in value better on sleeper. It might be, but they're paying less for the truck overall, and it's making them more money as they work because the truck gets to haul more freight. These have been tankers, so the more they can haul, the more money they make over the life of the truck. The truck's actually making them more money. Should never buy something based on its trade-in value. So 12 years from now, it'll be worth something. Trucks just aren't worth that much. For one a day cab on the highway looks out of place. I'm not, if you're going long distance even and it's motels and they can arrange it, I don't know. Day cabs are more expensive, at least in California. Most trucks come off sleepers, so day cabs are rare and can be more expensive new. Really? Sleeper trucks have better sale value because people use them, but this company is offsetting that by saving all this idle time, extended warranties, all that. The Korean mafia buys all sleepers. All local trucks are sleepers, really. But the fleet is 50. I wonder why they buy sleepers if they know the truck's going to be local. Wouldn't the truck get better mileage too? I didn't know. I'm looking for a new gig. Yeah, check it out. Not in port cities and on intrastate routes. Swift citizenry program. Look, there was a lot of talk about this Swift thing. I don't know how it got out there. Swift is not relocating illegal aliens in their trailers. That was the article. Swift is not doing that. I have to come to Swift's defense. They are not relocating people in trailers. Mike is at the Ramada. Oh, that's right. Well, look, I said that for people who are having 2 cans of soup for $3. I'm not telling people to stay at a Motel 6. Certainly, you should stay at a nice place. South Texas. Yeah, what's going on in South Texas, everybody? Irving. Thank you for being here. So we'll get an answer for you here for South Texas. Swift better not be going. Then I'm trying to say that they have bad drivers. But they do have videos of many crashes, and I'm sure they would risk liability. They have more videos of crashes because they have more trucks, too. So a larger place is just going to have more videos. And all these large companies, not just Swift, training program, subpar. I always say that, but then I always think back, I didn't have any training. I went to truck school, and then we graduated Thursday. You took your test. Friday was to retest for anybody that failed Thursday. So I think only one person had to retest. The rest of us passed Thursday. Friday off. I went to work Monday. I never did any kind of training. So is training even necessary? I'm not sure. There should be some training beyond, because then it was just, paper logs and stuff. There should be some kind of electronic training. But is driving training necessary? I'm not sure about it. Mr. Fave, yeah, you're quite welcome. Day cabs are close quarters. It'd be easier to back in. Think about that. Have I read about Yellow being negotiations? Yes. If the contract is not signed, the company could lose business. Yeah, Yellow Master Teamster contract, which our Redaway driver I think is part of here, they're going to get an 18% raise over 5 years and a retroactive raise to April 1st. They continue to get free medical and all that. I'd sign it personally. Okay, I think it's a pretty good deal, but I'm not working there, and they had to give a lot of stuff up not that long ago for the company. So, I think it'll be signed, but I don't work there. I'll stick with your 99th Century Freightliner. Yikes. 12.7. Oh, paid $8,500 with 800,000 still going strong. Still not rebuilt at 1.7 million miles. Holy mackerel. That thing is a money-making machine, paying that kind of money for it. I think partially even you would say you probably got a little bit lucky having that, little problem with it at that kind of money. But I think that's great. Jared is a day cab driver. But have to drive a sleeper due to your automatic restriction. Really? Hopefully Crete will get automatic day cabs. Oh, so their day cabs are manuals? Oh, that's pretty interesting. I was like getting a sleeper if my truck has to go in the shop or something because it's quieter. Going to a day cab that's just loud. I guess probably because these are like fleet trucks. They don't like spec them up like they should. They're like, oh, you're out of it every day. So, I'm not sure about that. But the sleepers are always quieter. Please cover Transport America and the things to consider. Really, I've had other people write to me and say, please cover Transport America in a doing it better video. So, what do you say is a couple problems there that should be, redressed? Swift, Hirschbach says Swift is not hauling, ET freight. No, Swift is not hauling live people in the back of their trailers as much as people would like them to think that they're doing it. I don't know how that ever got out, really. But I saw it all over today. I'm like, what? So I looked it up. No, not happening. Most Flying J's have a Denny's in them. All right. Well, I think they're just making more money that way. That's why they would take out their own place and put in, somebody else that they can just lease it to. If these rumors keep spreading about Swift, they'll be stopped at every port entry and won't get any bypasses at the scales. I don't think so. I mean, the scales and the port of entries and stuff, they got to know this too. In 2 seconds, really, I was able to look up and see that there's just nothing to it, So they have to know, oh, this cannot be real. You can't stack people on top of your freight and move them around for money. You just can't. I mean, I read that. I'm like, there's no way this is real. And sure enough, it isn't. It seems like a great idea, but it isn't. You'd have to at least have a reefer, right? You were at the Hotel Freight Shaker this past weekend in northern Wyoming. Yeah, that's a nice hotel. Would you rather stay at a regular hotel? The Hotel Freight Shaker. You used to do day cabining with CPC. Oh, okay, and they're Walgreens. That's interesting. The pay was terrible. Nice. 14 hours. It was unionized. It should be great then, right? Seniority, taking everything good. And after they put in the driver-facing cameras, I never understand why these union companies allow these cameras in here. That's what I don't understand. The drivers don't like them. That's the point of a union. As soon as the company goes, we're putting this in, you go, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. That's all it would take. But so they got them in. It just doesn't make any sense. Hard to beat the Petro Iron Skillet for coffee and buffet dried meat and veggies. Yeah, the dried meat is good. They would give you a hotel if you needed one. Right, but they're not giving you one every night as just the way they do business. Still in the door, haven't gotten a red light. Ugh. Just sit there and just stare at that light, watch it blink, and then for 3 days you can see that light blinking. Some have an IHOP. That would be good. We went to the IHOP a couple weeks ago. Delicious. That's the, I love all the syrup, of course. That is the advantage of mega carriers, getting bypassed, not having to fret with the DOT. DOT people are there to write tickets to generate revenue. It's an adversarial element. I don't know. I mean, George, people say that, but I've been in scales. I've been inspected like everybody else, and I haven't gotten a ticket there. So I don't know if they're there just to write tickets and generate revenue. I don't know about that. I mean, I've been inspected and not gotten a ticket. You've heard Swift as an illegal alien headquarter in Texas? That is a possibility. That'll be in the next article. I don't know about that. There's a fire at the cathedral in Notre Dame. Is that the one here or the real one? Smith Transport keeps to 500,000 or 600,000, and so you're in the 16 Cascadia right now. We have some back to 14s, and they have all the radar in the truck, so they must order it without that. Denny's is the only place to get double covered and smothered, covered in cheese and smothered in onions. Look, usually you have to pay big bucks for that. I had to pay $49 for that once at a place, but that's another story. Loving it and love this. Yeah, that's good of them though to keep that stuff out of the truck, and it saves them money. They don't have to keep fixing it. What are my thoughts on Crete? Look, other than they don't have very good recruiters, I liked Crete. Okay, so I still do. I'm still a fan of them. Even though they gave me a lot of grief over their poor recruiters at the Matt's Truck Show, and they have yet to contact me. So apparently they don't care what I think. So, which I knew they wouldn't. Been home this weekend, going to finish your laundry and get back out. All right, Thomas. Well, good. It's time to get back on the road. There's freight to move around here. What brand of year and truck do I drive? 2018 Freightliner New Cascadia with the LED lights on it, the LED headlights. And so we have an 18. We're getting the 19s. I won't be getting one of those, though. Used to definitely do a video on Smith. Yeah, you should do a video on Smith. Many Loves that are being built are getting IHOPs. Really? Where's there a Loves with a full restaurant in it? IHOP Express, but IHOPs. Oh, and IHOP Express? Oh, I'd love to see that. I stopped in that Loves at the 230 on I-65, and that one has hot food and stuff. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I asked some other ones, and we never heard of that. So they should expand that kind of stuff. Most of your day cabs do not have a passenger seat. That's really interesting. I don't know if I ever mentioned my first job at Regal Transport in the late 80s. This would have been late 1988, my first over-the-road job, because I started out as a local driver at Economy. So Regal Transport, which was flatbeds and drop decks, that kind of thing, they didn't have a passenger seat in the truck either. It was only the driver's seat in the truck because, you know what, you couldn't take a passenger. And they go, so you don't need a seat. And it turned out to be good because there was storage there. And in the winter, I would take the tarps and put them in there so they didn't freeze on the trailer. So it actually worked out pretty good. If weigh stations cared about safety, they'd be open all the time, nights and weekends. Yes. I always wondered about that. Oh, it's about safety, and then at 5 they close. Or like in Indiana, they're almost always closed. Oh, well, I should do the video about Smith, about transport. Yeah, look, give me some info about them, and we can get their info out there if they're doing pretty good. I need the detention, that kind of thing if they don't put that out. IHOP is not bad, but Waffle House still rules. There's more IHOPs. There's not Waffle Houses here. It's why you drive at night. You can bypass 80%. Yeah, I haven't been over scale in some time. I drive at night. Oh, wow, Bill, who do I drive for? Well, that's a good question that I never get asked. And so that's a very good question. Here's the thing. I don't say who I drive for, and that keeps them out of my videos. They don't get to say, oh, well, Mark, you're mentioning us, so now we get to have a say in your videos. I keep them out of the videos. And like almost every driver I see on here, I don't recruit for them. Every driver puts the recruiting, not me. I don't put it out there. We have a recruiting bonus. I don't recruit for them either. Let them recruit. We hire nationwide. If you want to come and work here, I don't recruit for them, but I keep them out of my videos. So I just never say where I work. On your way to pick up Walmart load from Seguin, Texas, going to Houston. How far is that? The Loves and Gary has a Denny's. Yeah, but I'll bypass that one outright. That's what I would say about that one. You've been plenty of scales, no problem, and no tickets. Greeted with smiles. It's look, Rhino, that is exactly it. Go in there, number one, like you know what you're talking about, okay, and know what you're talking about. And as a professional, you know, just they're just there to do a job. You're trying to do your job. Everybody's happy. Treat them like a professional, you know, and, I haven't had any problems at the scale. So just like everybody, this is going almost 31 years now, no problems. But you got to have some idea what you're talking about. Know what you're talking about like you're professional. Creek keeps hounding you to work for them at 54 cents. I wouldn't mind, but happy at 50 cents home every weekend unless you choose to stay out. For 4 cents, that's a tough call if you like where you're working, because it's not going to be a lot of money, and that sometimes the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. What are the biggest issues with going to Prime? Prime has a 2-year non-compete that you have to sign. You have to sign a 2-year non-compete contract at Prime. Now, I haven't heard of anybody really having it enforced, but sometimes other companies honor it. And also, Prime doesn't pay you for a while. Like where you're in training, the money they give you is actually a loan against your own money, which you have to pay back. So it's more of an advance. So I'm just not as big a fan of it. They have changed their pay and stuff. It's certainly not the worst place in the world, and they really want you to lease later. Worth it if they live near you or something like that. I just think you can do better. You can get more money somewhere else, like at Maverick. Your old truck makes so much money as the new ones, but the new ones break down more. Everybody says that, Oscar. Oh, new truck, new truck. Somebody wrote to me, and an astute driver, because I don't remember their name, about Heartland. And it's probably the first complaint I got that, they have all new trucks, and so they break down. I usually don't get complaints about having new trucks. I've had this truck, got this truck new in end of 17, fall of 17. And it has never broken down where I didn't get to drive it back. It's only been back to Freightliner one time for out of warranty or out of regular service. And it needed the radar realigned on it. And there was some kind of recall. Otherwise, it's just had regular maintenance done to it with no issue. So I just think it depends, just like a new car. Some people have new car problems and some never have a problem. I don't know. There's IHOP Express. So do they only give you like some of the menu? They only give you like, you can only have 2 pancakes. They flip them out at your finger, just fly them out and you're done. Express, get out of here. Here's your pancakes. Or only 3 bottles of syrup on there. Interesting that your home time coincidentally happened during the BSM shutdown. Yeah, Thomas, we know that you're a big supporter. I saw you on the news talking about it, that you would love it. I drive for Phantom Trucking. Yes, exactly. That would be a good name for a place too, really. You missed the old-fashioned gravel parking lot truck stops with greasy spoons. Yeah. I would hope they pave them, just from the dust angle of it, but yes. You got better treatment in there. Is there any way you can do a video on Dean Food financial status? Holy mackerel. They're just about bankrupt, and they're telling you nothing just to blow smoke up your butts. I don't know anything about their financials. You're on top of that. What? You can do a video about the Dean Foods financial status. What are they going? Are they like Celadon? Are they that far into it? I'm clever about the tarps. Yeah, Florida scales are 24. Yeah, the ag checks are always open too, right? But you can bypass. It's legal to get a broker's license, book your own loads. Is it legal? And charge broker fee and hauling fee. I don't know how that works. There's probably somebody on here, but I'm a company driver, so that kind of the broker question, I'm not sure about that. Oh, thanks, Wild Bill. I appreciate that. Mr. Fave, yeah, you don't recruit for your company either. They have recruiters to do that. Some of these companies pay, I think we pay $2,600, $2,000 or something over so much for people recruiting. I'm like, forget it. You go pay your own people to do that. On the day I retire, I shall reveal the secret of where I work. Yes, that'll be a big thing, and maybe I could get a tattoo of them on me, really. But yeah, there'll be a reveal day. That's the retirement day. But being just in my extreme upper 30s, that's going to be some time away. Oh, you finally got a red light. Oh, so now you got to sit there and wait. Oh, when is the truck going to move? When are they going to load me? Waffle House rocks. Oh, there's Huddle Houses, right? I forgot about those. Most of the loves with Denny's are former Flying J's. The one in Paris is burning, the Notre Dame in Paris. That's terrible. It's already nighttime there, right? Have to load Toyotas on your truck at the rail yard like cars? Keep the greasy side down. That's pretty good. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in anyway. Love the Waffle House. Yeah, aren't they great? Michael, thanks for that. Loves in Greenup, Illinois has an IHOP too. So the Loves are, I guess just the Loves around here aren't putting them in yet. For over the road, 1 week you get 45 cents. 2 weeks you get 48 cents. Detention is 16 an hour after the first hour. That's better than some. 15 minutes. Breakdown and layovers 96. First 3 weeks are guaranteed for $1,000. Orientation is $1,000. If you agree to go down to Atlanta to get your truck, they give you an extra $150. I wonder why that. Maybe they have more trucks sitting down there. Prime is on YouTube showing the new trucks to get drivers in. Yeah, never get bamboozled by that, certainly. I'm sure some companies have a YouTube presence in that. Most of them don't do a good job of it that I see. The Walmart dedicated account is a little different, but they give you 65 cents. Oh, now we're talking. And 70 cents on the weekends. That's 3 weeks out. That's more like it. You heard Cisco pays good. They do pay good. They have driver-facing cameras from what I understand, but Cisco around here is running $75,000 ads home every other day. It says generally out not more than one night. That's what the ad says. Hunter, trust you when you say do not go to a company because of the equipment. Exactly. That's exactly how you got hosed over by national carriers, and they're 40 cents per mile and no detention. Yikes. But you got a nice truck, right? So what were they advertising? Some Big Pete or something? I mean, what got you in there? That's curious. Shutdown. You guessed the shutdown was so big you didn't hear about it. Yeah, everything was shut down so much that the news didn't even carry it. I guess a few guys drove through Chicago slow, tried to go down to the Trump Tower, and it's on the news that cops wouldn't let them. They blocked off the exit, so they had to keep going. Pretty funny. They made it to the FMCSA building in downtown. We both know my favorite company is CR England. Yes. Look, Oscar, I don't like to say this, but, secretly I'm in love with CR England. I think it's the best company going out there for sure. Roy, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Wow, Roy, thanks a lot. That is much appreciated. The first 3 weeks is guaranteed for $1,000. Let me see. So do they not guarantee after the 3 weeks too? That's what I wanted to ask you. I think that's interesting. The company with now started, your current company was a ghetto 800,000-mile trucks. That truck's time to get traded in at 2011. But it worked, passed inspections, and it helped you run. I know, but holy mackerel. Cisco's all touch, and they have drive cam. Yeah, they don't tell you that up front that they have the drive cam, but they're not shy to say it's going to be work. But, I guess the good part of it is you would at least stay a little bit thinner because you'd get to do some work. No Waffle House, there's always fighting. Yeah, if you're at 3 in the morning, some of the Waffle Houses, you got to keep a weapon with you. Do I think it's better to buy a used truck than a new one? I don't know. I mean, as a company driver, I don't have a lot to say about that. But what I would personally buy a new truck, personally, because I want the warranty, or one that's not very old at all. Because I want the warranty so that I'm not broke down. I'm not getting paid any money if I'm not driving that truck around. Dropping by to pay respects. Still happy at Dot Foods. Some idiosyncrasies. Yeah, that's everywhere, right? But overall good. Nothing bad to say about Martin. Okay, good. But Dot is better. Dot Foods. I've recommended them here. Thank you, Roy. And thanks for telling that to other people because that will help other people decide where to go to. Now, Dot Foods, people, has a long hiring process. Okay, so you got to get through it. But for that, they weed out people that aren't any good, and it keeps a much better overall company. Right, Roy? How long is the hiring process? It's a while. Kenworth T680 automatics. Oh, nice. Nice truck. Very nice. 65 cents. Is that with Crete for Walmart? Oh, that would be really good. You were in a rail yard last week and the spotter trucks had cameras. Really? They got driver cams in the spotter trucks? Holy mackerel. I could almost see it out the front, but they got drive cams in the spotter. I guess you're not on the phone if you're in a spotter. I love the Waffle House at 127 and I-40 in Oklahoma, but the people that work there in the evenings get annoying. Was I in the military? Yes, I was in the military in the United States Army as a 98 Charlie military intelligence analyst. How about that? Scales are 24/7 in these states here. Yeah. Texas doesn't have permanent scales. They just pop open every once in a while, right? They got rid of that Volvo I mentioned. Oh, so now you're in a new Volvo. That's much better. I mean, 2011 is about time to get rid of that thing. Holy mackerel. Roger, do those two go together? I hope not. They lost $1.9 billion. Yeah, but does that mean they're in financial problem? I mean, Uber has never made money. They lose like $2 billion a week at that place, and they have money. I mean, seriously. A driver told me he made 90 cents at Hogan. I don't think so. They don't advertise that here. They're advertising $1,400 for, here, and $987, which I thought was a weird amount. That's why I remembered it, for straight truck a week. B license. 90 cents, I want to see that check. And if he gives you one check, always get 4 checks from a driver like that. Because depending when you turn paperwork in, right, it can show like, oh, this, $2,800 or whatever. 4 checks in a row. Then that's proof. Cisco cameras to make the drivers are not eating the good food. Yeah, you don't want to eat the product off the back. Always, you can't always, you can barely hear me, right? I need to get in with the mic, right? I keep moving away from it. Swift has had 57s for a long time. That's what I'm saying. I hauled those 57s a while ago. What's a good company for tankers? I like Trimac. Oh, they don't all have hazmat there. They don't all. CCC, which is in Florida, you can also check them out. They will tank you to start out as a tanker also. Tony, good afternoon. Yes, doing wonderful here today. Can use an automatic in an oil field? I don't see why not. Dean Foods might be bought up by Saputo, according to Barron's. Oh, right. I didn't check through my Barron's yet today, so I didn't get to read that. Dot Foods, right, is hiring is not long unless you have issues. I was working in a week from really. I've heard that they had like this interview and then another interview. I do know that it took 6 weeks. They're picky, but it keeps the company trash free. Yeah, it makes for a much, much better company, right, Dwight? That's what everybody says about intelligence until they want to know, hey, what's going on up there? Oh, well, then they come to me, right? I got all the info. Now, that's a terrifying thought. Swift drivers and 57s. Yeah, I mean, the trailer didn't look big till it parked next to another trailer, but I took them to the rail yard, and that was some time ago. Do I know how long Prime runs their trucks before replacement? I'm not sure about that. I do say I don't really see any old junky Prime trucks on the road, honestly. So, I don't think they're running 10-year-old trucks or anything like that. In regards to the no compete, do I know if Maverick honors it? I don't know. See, they don't ever say, oh, we honor this, we don't honor it, that kind of thing. Now Maverick does pay more than Prime, and whether they honor it or not, they won't ever say. So it's tough to know unless other people have some kind of experience, because they're like, oh, we don't know anything about that. So I don't know about that. You were an 11 Bravo and then a 151 Alpha, right? Now you fly a ground bus. All right, thanks, Roy. And you as well, right? Everybody, I think everybody should serve, right? That's how we all stay free here, right? CC Cobb is a good tank company. Oh, that's interesting too. They talked about some of these people, Trucker News and stuff like that, interviewed a couple of drivers on Friday about the trucker shutdown. And so one of them said that they were stuck in traffic for 3 hours. And so you lost 3 hours because of traffic. And so that's why, they didn't like the ELD or whatever. And I thought, really, the real problem, and this person worked for Schneider, because they happen to mention it in there. The real problem here is that you're not being paid for all your time. It isn't the government that, the time limit isn't really the problem. The problem is that you have 3 hours of your time that you're not being paid for. That turned out to be the real problem in it, I think. Not that, you're stuck in traffic for 3 hours. What if you got paid hourly plus overtime? I think that is a better solution to it. Because if you got paid hourly plus overtime, you would have gotten paid for all of that time. They never mention that kind of thing. People always look to the government to solve their problem. Call your company and say, why am I not being paid for all of this time? How can the other company find out if you have a non-compete going on? I would suppose you wouldn't tell your current company. No, but they would find out because you have to write down there, my experience, Prime. That's how they would know it. And then if that's something that they're going to look into, they know, okay, Prime has a 2-year non-compete, so we're not going to take any part of that. That's how they would know it, because you need to list your experience, otherwise you're going to start over, as somebody new. That's how they'll find it. Is it worth getting the endorsements if you don't use them? Yes, I recommend all the endorsements. Get them. You never know when you'll use them, right? Like I don't use the doubles right now, but I have used it. And the only reason I was able to use it is because I had it. And so it got me work that I wouldn't otherwise have been able to do. Get them, keep them, love them, as they say. Oh, United States Marine Corps, 6013-6013, plane captain. Oh, nice. Nice. James, we appreciate that. Thank you very much. You get paid hourly as soon as you hit the dock, and then mileage. That's the way to do it. At least all your time is paid. But see, what this lady was complaining about at Schneider was she was stuck in Atlanta traffic for 3 hours and didn't get paid for it. And so that took 3 hours of her day, and she only made like 20 miles or whatever, so didn't get any money. But the real problem isn't that. The real problem is that Schneider will let you sit in traffic and not pay you. That's the thing. All drivers, if we got paid hourly plus overtime, wouldn't worry about traffic. Everybody'd log legal too. Wouldn't speed. None of these things would happen. First class at Time DC, good tank companies. Okay, I've seen first class. I don't know if they'll take students at first class, though. I have never seen a dirty first class truck, certainly. So they might. I have never looked into them or anything. But, they might. There's Cary Transit is out there. Oh, Food Liner is another one that have tanks. I think Food Liner will take students, as a matter of fact. You have all the endorsements and never use them. Well, they're worth getting. And even though I said it one time and was wrong, of course, which is not unusual for me, in Indiana, at least, when you get them, other than the hazmat, they stay on your license forever. It turns out, I guess, other states aren't so nice about it and charge you every time you renew them. It's a minimal charge, and it's worth it. It's totally worth having them. You may need to change jobs. Your company can close. You move, and you're like, oh, well, I have this endorsement, so, I've had tanker for all these years, and so I can drive that. That's going to help you later on. I just think you're more employable. It's a way to go. New is the way to go with the warranty. Yeah, Ryan, that's what I'm saying. I don't own a truck or anything. And so I just know from cars, I like to have a warranty on things so that if there's a problem, it gets fixed. And especially on a truck, I want that, so that I can keep that thing running, because I don't want to be down and have a huge cost and not make any money. It's going to be bad enough that I'm going to have to sit and then still not make any money. Although maybe there are places that pay that. I'm not sure how that works. I do miss working at Schneider. Maybe you can get insurance for that. You worked on the Costco out of Dallas for 3 years. If it paid me more than 38 cents at mine, they upped the pay. I'd still be worth them. Yeah, you missed out, right? What does it pay now? It probably does pay more than that. But the Schneider, right, was 38. But here again, here's a mega carrier. But if you're on a dedicated run, everybody seems to do better and really like a mega carrier that's dedicated. Dedicated solves a lot of the problems. The motel solves even more problems. But dedicated solves problems. Oh my gosh, Misty, you're finally getting unloaded and getting paid at the same time. That's great. CRST bought Gardner Trucking. You work here and it's not that bad, but you're a local driver. That's the thing. And there's England day cabs running around Indianapolis. I don't know what they make. I bet they make more than the road drivers that England does. Does. I bet they make more than them. Either way. Even at the worst place or a place that wouldn't be any good, there's good opportunities at them. Here at Schneider, a dedicated Costco run, probably a great job. Right where I used to live up there in, Bill knows this, right? There's a big, Sam's Club warehouse out 80 out that way. That's a Swift thing out there. I'm going to get those guys dedicated. That probably pays really good. There's all these kind of dedicated runs that do really good. Food Liner does take students. All right, so that's a good way to get into tanks. They have bulk tanks there too at Food Liner. Mark of Excellence. Oh, I like it. General Motors. That's thank you for the info. When you've seen Prime trains on automatics, yeah, right. Which has the end result of a manual restriction. That's pretty common anymore, though. These days, is it a big barrier for entry? I don't think so. People say it is. I don't find it to be a big barrier of entry. More and more and more companies now even are running in their ads, oh, we'll take you with an automatic restriction, that kind of thing. So I don't think it's a big a problem. Freightliner said 70% of their new trucks being bought are automatics. In a few years, I can imagine in 5-10 years, there's not going to be a restriction. There's not one on your car. Anybody can just go buy a manual car and ruin their clutch in 25 minutes when they have no idea what they're doing. So there's no restriction on a car. It's going to be the same in the truck. It's not going to be a big problem. That wouldn't change my opinion of a place. I'd rather you didn't get the restriction, but if you're at a place with it, I don't think it holds you back that much. You don't think any tank company trains students? Quality carriers will train with 1 year? Yeah, some of them will train you. Some will. CCC, which I had, I did a video about, they'll train you. They'll take right out of school, right, and train you on tanks. Yep. Hunter, you've been told a 44 now. Where are we at on that? I'm not. How many drivers in a day cab at Sierra England? Oh, 3 driver day cabs. I wonder if they could sit in that big seat. My truck's got a pretty big passenger seat in it. That supposedly would fit 2 people. I don't know why it's so big, other than all the batteries are underneath it. Because the day cabs, these Freightliners, the batteries are inside the cab to keep them warm or whatever when you're driving. When you applied at Gardner, they never asked if you have restrictions. They do road tests in a manual, and they have automatics. I guess if you had the automatic restriction, you'd have to tell them, look, I can't test in a manual because I can't drive it. So I still don't think it's a big problem in the industry. What did they say here? 94% of companies have less than 20 trucks, but that's only 17% of trucks on the road. So most people that get into trucking probably train at one of the larger places, most people, now anyway, that get in now, and they're going to be mostly automatics. The Sierra England have 3 seats in their day cab. I think the third person is right overhead. I think they put a bunk up in the wing up there and just let them sit out right there. TriMac trains recent graduates and tankers. Yeah, TriMac is another one that'll take students and pay very well. I have a video about them on the channel, and you can go right into tankers. They have all kinds of stuff all over the country. You'll have to check their website for what is local for you. They had stuff everywhere, so it just depended on where you lived. They interviewed another person about this shutdown, and they asked him, and he says, look, everyone has to run illegally because of the electronic log. Is that true? Is everybody running illegally now because of electronic logs? I mean, does that mean before electronic logs, nobody was running illegally? Is that what he's trying to say? Because the law didn't change. Sierra England has 3 in the day cab, 1 sitting and 1 on the catwalk. Oh, you have to hold on the back, right? Which tanker company trains students? Yeah, people have been posting that here, right? TriMac and all these other ones that'll train students. How did the truck shutdown go? It went awesome. As you see, there was no freight moving around on Friday. I mean, the interstates were clear of trucks and everything. They did a great job. They still haven't even updated their own site to talk about the shutdown or anything like that. It's just crazy. What kind of movement is that when the leaders of the movement aren't leading the movement? You got training on with Gardner 2 weeks and off you go. Who knows if that's enough? Well, I don't know. I mean, I didn't have any training. Is that bad? I don't know. Now it would probably be a lot harder because at my truck school, they didn't teach you logs or anything. You weren't taught any of that. And so now with electronic logs and everything, I don't know if a truck school teaches that now. That's a good question. If anybody's in truck school, do they teach electronic logs or logging? It was all about driving. All day was just driving to get you past the test, to get your license. And they're like, wherever you go, they'll teach you stuff. So if anybody's in truck school now, I'd like to know, do they teach logs in truck school? Do they teach about any of those things? I'm not sure what they do. They weren't doing it back then when I did it. This guy said, look, the shippers and receivers take a half a day to load his truck. Can take you a half a day. And so then that, quote, eats up a half a day, and I'm not getting paid for that. Well, so the problem is the government should solve that? Should the government solve that problem? People in England are not animals. They probably have a truck seat on the catwalk for their driver. Yeah, you rotate out there. You probably get assigned an England raincoat as well. Jared, exactly. I mean, ignorant drivers, except there's so few of them that the hashtag wouldn't even get anywhere. I mean, this was less than the other truck slow rolls that they had. This was the least amount of drivers that were involved at all. No news really covered it. It was really something. Does Walmart own 51% of Swift? Did they ever own half of Swift? I don't know about that. You never went to truck school. Oh, really? Self-taught when you were a laborer 25 years ago. That's interesting. How did you pass your test? I was allowed to go to the back lot and practice until you're comfortable, had a permit. Oh, okay, so you already answered. And allowed to use a company truck for your road test. The old timers taught me tricks of the trade. That's really good. That's a good way to do it at the best cost, where you can just go practice. That's really good. So Michael says they teach paper logs. That's brilliant. We have e-logs, so they teach paper logs there. You just graduated and you were trained on e-logs very little. So would you feel confident going on the road, not being taught anything with an electronic log? Just with a few, maybe an hour class at an orientation? Probably not. You're a company driver, you're not paying for anything. Exactly. You were never trained a million miles, no tickets and accidents. Yeah, that's the thing of it. Many of us went through, have a good record, and weren't trained at all. You know, why is that? And then today, you know, we see people that have no idea what they're doing. They also have a portable swamp cooler for the catwalk guy. I think they probably just leave the windows open, and so any cool air that goes back there, that's the air that he gets. My community college driving school didn't teach logs at all, or scaling. Yeah, the trucks, they don't teach you how to scale the truck. 9 months so far. So how'd you learn this stuff? That's the question. Did you go get trained, or just kind of have to wing it? Is hire right the background check? Yes. I pulled your own report. Good. And no records. Good. You have 2 tickets for expired plate. No moving violations. So go pull your DMV report from your state as well, because your company, wherever you go to work, they're going to also pull that. See what's on there. Those 2 things are what you need to write down. Okay? Those 2 best job for day cab owner operators. I don't know. Hub Group, they seem to run ads. I don't know that much about the owner operator side, but I see Hub running groups. Oh, Dart will take day cabs on too, I think. But I don't know what these places pay or anything. It's hard to find an owner-operator job where you lease onto a place that pays any kind of decent money more than you just make as a company driver. You know, it's really tough. Your friend is on electronic logs on his phone. You can use your phone, and most of the time he's not on the log. When he gets stopped by the CHP, they don't know how to read it. The problem is he's lucky that the CHP doesn't know anything, because if he doesn't know how to give it to them, they don't have to know. He has to know how to give it to them. He can be given a ticket for that. You are required to know how to transfer from your ELD to them. They have a 6-digit code or an email. You can get either one from them, and you're required to be able to transfer. If you can't, it's your ticket. It isn't them that has to know it. So he needs to know how to do it. And tell him he's got to mount that phone, because his phone has the logs on it. It must be mounted in his view where he can see it. So your CDL school taught paper logs. Would you feel confident at the end of school that you could properly fill out and follow the log rules? You know, that's interesting. Companies train on the electronic log. Maybe they don't train on it because there's so many different kinds. But do they teach logging? Maybe would be a better question. Your community college CDL school teaches logs. They don't have to, but they're trying to do it better. We get a lot of backing and driving time. Good. The more they teach you, the better off you're going to be. Certainly. I mean, they should at least have a day dedicated to understanding how the hours of service work and how to split your log, everything. Tony didn't go to school. Your dad trained you. That's another good way to do it. How did you get your license then? You know, how did you eventually go get your license? No matter how much training you get, the real learning begins on the road. That is true. That's true. But if you don't understand the logs in that, you're going to have a much harder time of it. I was told by a trainer of the record he was being taught how to get his CDL, and when we get hard, we would learn how to drive and use the e-log. That's interesting. You'll learn how to drive after you get a job. I love it. You got to have the desire to teach yourself. Yes, look, you got to constantly, you know, it's a daily kind of thing, you know, update, check, oh, the logs are changing. How does this work? To be a professional in it, you have to want to do it. So you got to really love what you're doing. You know, you have a passion for it. Joshua, boy, you're late today. Thank you for showing up and coming in. I do appreciate you being here. The woman from Schneider, welcome to trucking. Yes. You know, it didn't say how long she'd been driving. I don't know if how long she was driving. I don't know if you saw that article. DAC and CSA, how do you pull them? You go to hireright.com, and it'll show you on that page how to get a copy for free. And also put that with your DMV report from your state, because that'll list all your tickets. They don't always cross, and any company is going to pull both of those. What's on there is what you need to write down, because that's what they're going to see. I don't tell people to lie. Never lie about stuff, but don't over-volunteer things, Like when the cop pulls you over, do you know why I pulled you over? Because the blood leaking out of the trunk? No, but let's look in your trunk. Don't volunteer things. Did you find the body? Right, that kind of thing. Some of these customers treat their drivers like criminals. Agree. Went to a place where you had to drop the trailer in the door, unhook and park along the fence. That's crazy. Also, to not move. Don't move. Some of them don't let you use the bathroom, for crying out loud. And those places drivers shouldn't go in there. I haven't been to a place like that, but I've read tons of reports of places that say, we can't use the bathroom here. Stop going in there. Told my friend jokingly got a CDL with a personal truck towing his mobile home. If it's big enough, he might be able to do it. It would have to qualify, right, as a Class A vehicle. You get one free report per year, kind of like a credit report then? Right. Yeah, Michael, that's how, and pull your DMV also. If you're going to do both of those, the DMV in Indiana, again, is free. Some states hose you on that. They hose you enough on your license plate here, so they at least can give you that. And you can print that anywhere, so that's nice of them. I can pull one right here for myself in Indiana. So everybody should probably move to Indiana. And if you have an old car, you're all set. So because the plate's cheaper. But pull those. Don't tell them stuff that's not on there. That's all they're going to be able to pull. They're not going to be able to interview every cop that's ever talked to you in your life. They're going to pull that, and that's what they're going to see. You winged it with Carlos. I was the only one to give me a chance with no experience, and after 2 months, Carlo had truck repossessed. Oh, that stinks. My 2 teachers could not log on to the ELD and had to teach myself. Isn't that great? How do they have people teaching it that don't have any idea what they're doing? You have to learn something new every day. But I mean, that kind of thing after 14 months. Look, I'm glad you got in. That's so frustrating, though, for you especially. If they have people that don't know how to do it, I would be thinking, well, how hard is this to do? And then eventually that kind of stuff gets people out of the industry. Get instructors that know what they're doing. The problem is instructors are only in it for the money at a lot of places. Not all of them, certainly. And so they don't get the best people that want to do the job. They get the people that want the money from the job. You have to want the thing first, and the money comes later. That's the people they should get. I don't know how they find those people, though. The volunteer sheet. My dispatcher told me that, they should have volunteers and say you can be a trainer at no extra cost, and see who volunteers, for no pay. And those are the people that would do it for free are the ones you should pay to do it. Your dispatcher told you if you stay here 6 months, they'll let you take a company truck through the skills test to get the restriction lift. That's even better. That's really good of them. Will they show you, maybe you can already drive a manual, but, since you have the restriction, will they teach you to drive it too? And are they going to get you one of those gigantic trucks to do it? Holy mackerel. You had a small accident in 2016, but it never showed up on your DMV. So if it's not on your hire right also, then it never happened, right? You're with a much better company now. Good. Illinois MVR is free once a year, $10 if you need another one. Well, you got 2 plates on your car. I don't know what to say about Illinois. So they teach logs. They should teach it. The truck school should at least go over hours of service, how to split, all that kind of stuff. So you at least have some kind of idea of what you're going to be facing out there. Okay, Sanchimi, thanks for being here today. I appreciate it. We'll all keep on trucking safely, hopefully. Now, this guy that said, everyone has to run illegally, and so the shippers and receivers eat up half a day of his log. Here's the problem with that guy, too. The same kind of thing. The problem is not the log again, is it? The problem is not getting paid for all your time. The problem is the pay. The pay, that's what I say anyway. People think I'm crazy or whatever. The pay is the problem, not the log. If you got paid hourly plus overtime, like JAT of Fort Wayne, right, who was someday I'll do a video about, considering how much I like them. They ran an ad again this weekend, $25 an hour, overtime past 40, all-time run over the road. Paying hourly over the road. That's the solution. Now you could sit in traffic and get paid. You just had a Swift day cab take off the front of a new Volvo in truck in Jersey. What the heck? Can a day cab not even maneuver itself around? Will they put students in day cabs at Swift, or do you have to go over the road? You got your DMV today, left 49 cents to start a new one at 55 cents. Penny a month to 60. Okay, you got the encouragement to take the jump. I appreciate that. You know, it's always a personal thing because the 49-cent job you may like or whatever, there may be reasons to stay if you're still getting a decent amount. But 60 cents, will get you some money, and so I appreciate that. And let everybody know how it goes. If you want to let everybody know where it is or not, that's fine. But, when you switch, it can be a problem. You have to start your insurance and all this other goofy stuff over. So, but maybe for 11 cents a mile, that's 10 grand a year or more. That's a lot of money in your pocket. You can go, you could buy your plates there in Indiana for your car, at least with that kind of money. That's the kind of money that you need to buy plates anyways. Former governor in Illinois helped make the license plates. I think the last three, every governor in Illinois gets arrested, for people that don't know, and they make the plates. But I give them grief because Illinois has 2 license plates. They have to have a front plate on their car. I don't know why. They always have had that there, so they can't put anything on the front of their car. They have to have the front plate. I don't know why it's always a problem. Grew up in that area, so I'd see a lot of those cars. And even down here, some people keep their Illinois plate on their car illegally when they move here because the cost difference is so much. Indiana plate are a lot more, especially if you have a newer car. Some of these plates here in Indiana can be over $500 a year. As long as companies keep bringing foreign drivers, the pay isn't going to be increasing. The foreign drivers work for free. It's a problem. It is. It's going to be a bigger company problem, and I totally agree. I'm sure there's some of it. It's hard to root it out. I mean, unless somebody gets stopped at a scale or whatever, there's really no way to get it stopped. There's no disincentive for a company, whether this or any other company, to hire someone like that because there's just like a slap on the wrist. If it was some kind of bigger fine, like first time it's $10 million and the second time your company has to close completely, I bet that would end it. But that benefits everybody, right? Then the company makes more, so the stockholders make more, and they give money to the politicians, so they all benefit. That's what matters to them. They think you could ride with a veteran for a week because the only manuals they have are the older Pete's with the long nose. Yeah, get a little practice in it so, if you're not used to that big, gigantic truck. Swift took out another Swift. So that's the thing. Who does Swift file for? Do they file with their own insurance? Does this driver sue himself for workman's comp? It's windy in North Carolina to Pennsylvania all day. Yeah, you must have had what was going on here yesterday. It was super windy out here. Misty got a green light. That's actually not too bad. Now waiting and receiving to call you. Oh, so now we're stuck again. At least you're getting paid something for this. You got your light. Where does the load go? Thought Swift required an over-the-road experience before going local. That's what I'm wondering. Do you need experience there before you get a local job? Some places hire you locally to, there's a spotter job I saw in the paper, no experience necessary. And I thought, wow, that's going to be a tough job for somebody that's never backed up. And now suddenly you have to back up 80 trailers a day. And they're not going to want you to take 14 pull-ups in your spotter truck. They're going to want that trailer in the dock. Yikes. They should require, some kind of experience, but I see it. I see the ads all the time. I'm wondering, where this driver thinks that the government is going to help him on this ELD because shippers and receivers take a half a day to load. In the United States, shippers and receivers don't take orders from the government. So if the government says, you have to get our drivers loaded, I mean, what drivers? Nobody works for the government here. The problem with all this stuff, and a couple people wrote to me over the weekend about my video for Black Smoke Matters, where I suggested that we close a company, which I still think would work, although it would be tough to get people together to do it. I don't think everybody would agree to it. But ultimately, it is the driver's responsibility to manage their own thing. Why do drivers tolerate not being paid anything? It just never made any sense to me that drivers can go out, not get any money and think, well, I guess I just don't get any money. But nobody would tolerate it if they went to work anywhere else except driving. You're a foreign driver who's here legally when you started out. That's different than what I'm saying here. You got paid 21 cents in 2005. Wow. and worked your way up to where you am today, 10 years and no accidents. Look, I'm not talking about anybody about here legally, okay? So, but 21 cents is really low. I got a quarter in the 80s. So, I mean, I don't know who was paying that. I did see a video of this lady. I'm not going to put her name out there because I don't want to embarrass her too much, but Western Express, I couldn't believe she's getting 26 cents a mile. Many of you may have seen the video. I don't know. Actually, it only had like 60 views, so maybe 59 of you saw it, but I was really surprised that they're paying 26 cents to this day when I got a quarter in late 88 starting out. 21 cents is low, but look, 10 years, no accidents or tickets, so you got it made now. You can do basically anything that you want to do in the industry. And if you're here legally, that isn't any problem, right? For at least for me. You know, even though you're getting 21 cents, which is kind of being hosed in 05. Holy mackerel. How much more? You're almost 40 cents a mile more now here in a few years. That is going to be a huge pay increase. You'll be able to move to Indiana and buy the license plate that we have here for people. As long as you don't tolerate, you know, or at least as little as possible, not being paid. Smith is self-insured for $2 million. That's a lot of companies self-insure themselves. That's how they can afford the insurance on, especially to hire people that don't have a lot of experience. What's the average mileage people run? 100 to 125,000 miles a year is probably average. Ironically, I wrote this down. OIDA says the average owner-operator runs 101,000 miles a year. So I think that's an interesting fact. That's for an owner-operator. But I'd say 100 to 125 the average company driver runs. How many of those are paid? Probably the average driver runs 110 to 135,000 actual driving miles, depending on what company you're at. It's never going to be where drivers unite and pull any kind of strikes just to shut down. Yeah, as we see, although this group is not good at organizing, they still only got 50 people in Chicago to come in, and that's it, the whole country. And when Trucker News went out to talk to people about it, they couldn't find anyone that knew anything about it. I think I was the most excited about it than anybody, and I wasn't even participating. So, holy mackerel. James started at 15 cents in 1977. Really? Well, by 88, it had gone up a dime. 15 cents. But that's before deregulation. So I'm surprised. That was, 80 deregulation, right? So I'm surprised you only got 15 cents in 77. Where would that work be for 15 cents? And what kind of truck might that have been? Holy moly. And do you have a picture of it? I'd love to see that. Because before deregulation, you should have been getting pretty good money. Although that might not have been too bad of money then. You have to go, be safe. Okay, Big Huge Mike, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for being here. And we'll see you next Monday. As an immigrant, beggars can't be choosers. I agree. But you worked your way up the ranks. I agree. But, people shouldn't be taken advantage of because of that kind of thing. Like, kind of like Western and some of these other places do. People don't have less choice, and so, they're being taken advantage of. Well, people that run the company profit from that, being taken advantage of people. It isn't right. It's not right to do. Pam pays 17 cents. No way. After a year, they offer 35 for rehire. No way. 17 cents. I called them, and they said 30 cents because Pam's one of the places I called. 30 cents for students. So I just can't 17 cents split maybe, 34 cents on a team. I mean, come on. They did tell me 30 cents. 70 international cab over in 1977. So it wasn't really that old then. But I thought on deregulation you'd have been making more money. Because people all said, drivers made more money then. I started after deregulation. Would it be best if everyone work only 8.75 a day all year long? Well, yeah, it would be best, but it'd be impossible to do that. And who wants to work 7 days a week? Let's be honest about that. And you can never time it out to be exactly perfect like that. When you quit Schugel, that accident they had at the beginning of March, they never put on your record. Nice. It's not on your DAC. And they refuse to verify that you work there. Really? Well, you can verify you work there with paychecks, right? So, paychecks, because hey, it's tax time, so you should have at least a W-2 from them, W-4, whatever, like they mail you in the mail, right? So you can use that as proof and say, look, this place won't even verify I work there, but you've got the proof in the tax paperwork. I don't understand why they are trying to be like that. Have you ever written to them, like the HR department or whatever, and said, hey, what's the deal? I'm trying to get a job here, and you guys won't even verify. They're required to verify, by the way, by law, although I don't know how you would enforce it, 15 cents was big money. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe in 77 that wasn't bad money. So that's $300 a week, 15, not bad. Prime told you 44. Maverick said 53. Maverick is one of the higher paying places for students, certainly. That's what I have seen on here. And besides that, when you go and look at reviews of the place, there's way more people that like it than like Prime. So, that really says something about it. And a number of people have written to me concerned that at Prime, there's a lot of lease operators that are trainers, and they use their students just to make miles so they can make their lease payment and they basically get their truck paid for. I don't know if that's actually happening. It's certainly not a policy there, but it could certainly happen. I think anywhere you go that has a trainer, though, when the trainer's in it for money, because that's how they're paid on this, then you have the problem of the trainer just using you and not really training you. It's a tough call. That's why, I guess I'm kind of glad I never had a trainer, so I didn't have to deal with that kind of thing, because CRST was offering us, even then in 80s, cab over internationals, and you would go out with a trainer, but I never had to do that, which I'm grateful beyond belief for, that I really never did it. But I don't know if it's necessary. I just don't know. We had a driver involved in a fatality on 64. That isn't any good. Was he the fatality, or was he just involved in it? And was he picking up a sandwich like that one we talked about a few years ago, or a few weeks ago right here in Indiana that made the national news? Many people sent it to me. It was really, really something. I'm always surprised, when people do that kind of stuff. You're supposed to be driving, and not everybody pays 100% attention. But geez, picking up a sandwich is no reason to get your wife killed in the truck. Yikes. Bought a new car and a house with that wage. Oh, okay. So back then, you're probably making more than the average person. And so you were styling around probably 77. I imagine you bought some kind of Pinto or something like that. And a new house, so that's pretty good, right? I think you still, didn't you write to me? You still have that car, so that's really something. You still drive it to work every day. But look, Kim, I'm thinking you could write him a lawyer. You could have a lawyer write a letter, although it would be a couple of $100 to have a lawyer do it and say, look, you're required to verify my employment, because they're required to do it. Although that's going to cost you money. I don't know any good way to do it. I just don't know how to get them to do it, because they have this law, but then how do you enforce that law? There's really no way to enforce it. You're going to have to enforce it through your paperwork and prove you work there. Trump should create a federal law stating drivers weekends off at home. Yikes. 80,000 minimum per paid holidays. No. I'm totally not with you on that. In America, we don't have the government set our wages. No way. Plus, there's going to be people you watch in 10 seconds writing here that make more than that and are going to say 80,000. What the heck, right? I make more than that now. So I don't think that's the way to do it. We should not accept not being paid, and we could get a pay raise that way. Said he had a coughing fit. Oh, okay. He had a heart attack. That's really sad. That's terrible. You never know when that day comes for anybody. James, you got a Monte Carlo. Styling in the 77 Monte Carlo. Word among drivers he fell asleep. That's possible too. People do. Need to be in a motel, so get a good night's rest. All right, but people have heart attacks, stuff like that. It happens. So whatever you're going to do right in life, you're out there, you're thinking, I want to go driving. Go driving. Whatever you want to do, go do it. I mean, how many more days do you have left? You don't put off, what you could do right now. And getting paid. So you're somewhere that's not paying you. Oh, I don't know what to do. They're not paying me. Quit. Go find another job. It's too short to just sit around at work and not get paid anything. I mean, that is crazy that drivers do it. Having Trump do it, though, no way. Or the government, whoever's in charge. And it was not allowed, by the way, in the United States anyway. But even aside from that, we can't have the government set a wage for drivers. Some drivers aren't worth $80,000. Some of them aren't worth that at all. Here's the thing. There are jobs that pay this kind of money with paid holidays and all that stuff, and drivers won't come and work there. I don't get any sick days, but some places do give them. I get paid holidays. I have a guarantee. I get paid vacations, and we can't get people to come to work. So But there are drivers that write to me all the time. I've been here for 3 years. I've been here 6 years. I sit all this time. I don't make any money. You can't do that. You've got to take a step. The only reason companies do it, right, is because you'll do it. A company says, oh, we can get drivers to work for free. Oh, well, Johnson, let's get that happening. And then they do it. So we got to not work for free. We have to take the incentive ourselves. The idea that everybody at a company stops the company, that would work, but that probably will never happen only because drivers wouldn't do it. You've got to get out there and say, look, I'm not working for free anymore, so I'm going to start looking for a job right now where I'm going to get paid for my time in a way that is good and it makes me a good wage, and move on from a company that's not paying you. What happened on the 4/12/19 Black Smoke Matters? Well, I will tell you this, if you have to ask me, not much, because it wasn't on the news. About 40 drivers drove slowly through Chicago and wanted to go to Trump Tower, but were blocked by the police, which I read in a news article. So they had to go to the FMCSA building, and they basically had a conference call with Martinez, who's the head of the FMCSA, and he listened to them and basically said, I'll listen to you, and that was it. And then they all drove slowly back to some truck stop in Wisconsin, and Beloit or something, I think is where they're going. And that's basically all that happened. Maverick has a hair test, which shouldn't be any problem, of course. As a researcher, it seems hair goes back 3 months. Prime does the urinalysis. No comment on that, but something to consider. If you don't think you can pass a test, I recommend you go to number one, stop doing whatever it is that makes you not pass. Go to a pharmacy, Walgreens, CVS. They have home test kits for your kids. To test your kids, go test yourself. See if you'll pass on that test kit, okay? That's what I would do before going to do this. Never fail a drug test, never. Once you fail at a company, you are basically finished. That will follow you around, and you will have a really, really tough time if you ever fail one for any reason. So don't go in there if you even think you can't pass. And then don't do stuff where you can't pass, right? How much per mile is Maverick? They're over 50 cents depending on the division that you are in. Companies are not the problem, drivers are. Well, companies are the problem in that they offer to not pay you anything, and then drivers shouldn't take it. Drivers should go, no, I don't come in for nothing. That's why I volunteer on my free time. I don't come to here to work and do nothing. I mean, seriously. It seems like, oh, Mark, you're against the drivers. No, companies that do this, it's ridiculous. Companies should never do that. They should pay you. But they don't have to, and so they don't. But if they couldn't get anybody come in, they would then change their ways. So you've got to take the initiative yourself and quit. Look, what if you got paid for your time? How much money would you make more a year? $10,000, $20,000? It's worth looking around. You don't get out of bed for less than 40 cents? Yeah, that's you should at least get that. Holy mackerel. You see too many drivers after working a day, losing time with useless stuff, and then sleep 2 hours. Well, my rule is you don't have time to sleep at least 6 to 7 hours. We have drivers that run really long routes. I don't do them, right? But we have drivers that are running really long routes, and then they're an hour each way, which is crazy. I don't know who commutes like that. And then they're up with their kids or stuff. I agree. Getting sleep in that, it's super important. Don't just sleep 2 hours because you got to do something with your kid. Take a shorter thing or do something else. Change your life. Plus, you're going to die from that. Working 14 hours and commuting 2 hours. Oh my gosh. Work 14 hours every day over the road. You're gonna die when you're 50 years old. I should do a video about my company without letting us know. Oh, that's a good idea. Right. I should do that and then just feature them. Hey, it's here, the company. And then we don't know who it is. Right. But that would, somebody would put that together. Zinc Insurance. What's driving workers' compensation costs? Yeah, what does drive workers' compensation costs? What should I look for in a company I'm considering driving regional? Been driving local for years and want to see the countryside. I would get a guarantee on a dedicated run. Get a guaranteed wage every week. Or go to Western Express. I don't know about Western Express, but if you have like 9, I guess if you have felonies, you can get in there. I've recommended to the people that write to me and go, I have a felony that's a year old or whatever. Because that's the only way that I would recommend the place. But regional, look, any place dedicated and guaranteed weekly pay. Guaranteed. Because then if you sit, you're going to get paid. Like Newsbomb, which I like. $250 a day guaranteed pay. Love it. So you sit somewhere all day like this goofball that was in this article, Trucker News, you would have got $250 for sitting there. That's you'd say, well, that's not much. It's a lot if you didn't work that day. because it's just a minimum. It isn't what you get. It's a minimum for the day. So you made this more these other days, and you still get $250 on the day when you have a problem. Well worth it. I have a guarantee. I love it. Because if there's a problem someday, you get paid. Did you miss it? I don't know. Maybe. What did you miss? Wish you got paid more. You can go get paid more, of course, somewhere else. I mean, if it's enough money, it's worth leaving. You took your 2-week vacation, let you keep the truck. That's good. Some places want you to turn the truck in, but if they have trucks sitting around, they ought to let you keep your truck. If you fail it, I'd still probably clean it out. If you fail a drug test, you request a retest. Yeah, they split your sample, right? Especially if you feel or know it's a false positive. I agree. You should always request that. And do they do that with hair? I've never been hair tested. So do they actually cut your hair in half, and can you do a split hair test? Not everyone needs 8 hours. I agree. You're good with 4. Look, I wake up about 6.5 hours. I just wake up. I don't set an alarm. So not everybody should sleep only 8 hours. But this 2 hours because you're up all night and then people are dragging, butt around. I don't agree with that. You should get enough sleep. How about that? You went regional for Ozark because they ran out of work. Okay, well, that's one reason. You don't miss it one bit. Right, intermodal, because it was a disaster there. Is it better regional for Ozark? What do you think? Smith only does a urinalysis, but they said the next couple of years they'll be moving to the hair test. It's cheaper, right? I think I did a video about this or maybe talked about it in a live show. It turns out the hair test for companies costs like a third of the money. So that's why they do it. I don't know why. Lots of companies are doing guaranteed pay. I think that's where the industry is heading. I see some salary pay too, but a lot of places do guarantee, and that is certainly the way to go. You know, okay, at least I'll make this much every week, never less, no matter what happened. They shaved your whole arm because you're bald. Oh, that's pretty good. How much hair do you guys need? Holy mackerel. A hair follicle, so they have to go all the way to the follicle. They have to go all the way inside you to get the follicle out. I don't know. We don't do the hair test yet here. As far as I know, I haven't taken one here in a long time, and do they split it? Do they split this piece? So do they cut this hair in half and then send half so that you can retest the other part the same way you can a urinalysis? Because you can request that other part be tested. I don't like the gamble of not knowing how much I have to run or how much I'll make. I just keep it moving and hope. Yeah, well, that's one way to do it. I'm just saying a guaranteed minimum is very helpful for if you have problems like this guy that they interviewed where he sits half a day. Then half your day is done, but you still get a 1 day worth of pay. So the guaranteed minimum is very, very helpful. Am I like Kramer? I don't need an alarm clock? Yes. Right. I just 6.5 hours, no matter what time I go to bed. That's when I wake up. And I don't like setting an alarm clock, really. I think it's healthier. And I think that when you wake up, that's how much sleep you needed that day. So if you're more tired, you might sleep longer. So I think that not setting an alarm clock is really good for you. That's not medical opinion, of course. Calex is going to train you at 100 a day, and that's 700 a week, right? Driving coast to coast. We'll be driving coast to coast AM. We'll have to team for a week or two, but it's someone who has many years experience. I don't like them teaming. I would rather that the person was up, but a lot of companies do it and there's not much you can do to get around it. I just don't think that you're being trained if the other person is sleeping. Do I have any insight on why Prime is not hiring in a state as big as California? No, I didn't know that. I thought they hired 48 states. They have a training center in Salt Lake City. I didn't miss being in the truck. You got 43 cents and nothing for sitting. Well, there you go, right? Like being hoed and getting paid hourly. That's way better, right? 43 cents and nothing for sitting is not great. Night does the hair test, but it's okay. I like that they don't have a contract there at night and they pay you pretty quickly. In training, they pay you faster than other places. They clip an inch of hair. Oh, okay. That's going to be less and less good for me, I guess. You have hair testing, Wild Bill, at your place. They can determine if you're smoking pot a month ago based on the test. Yeah, so put down the pot, as I guess we should say. You're considering going to ATS? Yeah, get on their heavy haul and make some money over there. I don't know if they have hair tests there, as we're talking about, but yeah, absolutely. I did a video about them, by the way. That minimum takes pressure off the driver and puts it on the office. They'll get you miles if they have to pay you. Yeah, at least they'll get you out of places. If you have to sit, you go, well, they want me to sit here, so what do you want? Talk to you later. Oh, believe me, they'll be on the phone because you have to get paid whether you sit, whether you get miles, no matter what you're doing. It puts the pressure on the company, which is where it should be. This, I think, is the next best thing to getting paid hourly. I think that's better. Hourly plus overtime would really get you out of the place because then your minimum every day would be even higher if it's at a decent wage like JAT, which is 25 plus overtime past 40. So that's even better money. But certainly a minimum. If you're not getting a minimum and then you're also not getting money. I have people write to me that are making $600, $700 a week gross for the whole week. That's no kind of money on the road, okay? It should be $2,000. So that, you got to get out of there. You got to start looking around the little truck stop books. I don't have one here, right? You got to take those in and say, look, I'm out of here. This is no kind of money. This is crazy. There's tons of places that'll pay you. Look at ShipX. They have a salary that you even get paid while you're at home. So there's some drivers there that get paid while other drivers are out not getting anything. It has to end. We can't get the companies to do it. They're never going to stop it as long as they get a steady flow of people in that will sit for nothing. So we have to get to the people before they get out there and say, hey, you know what? It always amazes me that you even have to teach people that. Hey, did you know you don't have to sit around and not get paid anything? I thought everybody knew that, but apparently not everybody does. The time that you put in a company should be paid. They make money. Why shouldn't you make money? It's nothing wrong to say, hey, I'm at work, you need to pay me. That's not like you're being taking advantage of anybody. They're the one taking advantage by not having you make any money. My concern with a minimum pay guarantee would be that the company might be inclined to rush you into running unsafe, although this is from the perspective of a nobody. Well, you're not a nobody, certainly. But look, they could potentially, but that's the other part of the ELD. I'm out of hours. I'm done driving. So they can't, run you potentially unsafe. Simple as that. You've been drug tested 3 times in the last year. CBD does not show up in a drug test because you have to have less than a certain percentage, right, to be considered hemp. I, of course, never recommend it just because I'm nervous about it. You have an update on Sharky. Oh, really? Yeah, my guy write you a detailed email about the pros and cons? Yeah, all right. I'd love to hear about Sharky. Hopefully it's a good update. Before you know it, there will be a probe in the driver's seat. I'm surprised they don't do that kind of thing right now. Energy drinks should be banned. A good friend of mine died with a hemorrhage. That's disappointing. Due to abuse. Of course, look, we shouldn't abuse them, right? You cannot know if you have a weak point in your brain. Energy drinks are bad. I agree, they're bad. If you need that kind of stuff to stay awake, where you're like, oh, I can't stay awake, you need to sleep more, right? I mean, isn't that the whole deal of it? I guess. I mean, certainly. Yeah, we knew what you said about the driver's seat. Believe me, right? Where that probe is happening. People buy these. I see these all the time. These energy drinks, and so I'm not a huge fan of them. Right? Get a night's sleep. I've always recommended that. And the DOT allows you to pull over if you're tired. They say to pull over that you're tired, and so if you're tired, please don't drive. It's just ridiculous. Don't do drugs, problem solved. That is the best way to not worry about a hair test. Some of them are false positives, I will say that. You love CBD. It helps you with your back pain. It does help you. It can help people. I can't recommend it. I don't know that much about it, and certainly not a doctor. I'm not going to recommend that stuff, but if it helps you and you can pass a drug test, more power to you. It's sold all over Indiana now. I'm just not somebody that's going to be taking that here or probably ever do a video about that it's the greatest thing ever, other than maybe have a doctor on about it, which I'm sure is not going to happen here. Don't buy your CBD from a gas station. Why not? I'm in there to get my sushi as it is. I get sushi, in there, so why can't I get my CBD in there? It says fresh. Made fresh this week. That's what the sushi says. That's wrapped up in the back. A pot is everywhere. You have people in the industry, law enforcement. Right. I'm sure it is, right. I don't know why the gas station, I already get all the rest of my supplies in there. So I think it would work out. I think it would work out really good. To the sushi, it's only $4 in there. So that's great. That's great. And the guy that works in there made it. Oh my gosh. Love it. And when I can't find a food truck to get it on, A rusty food truck that doesn't work good. I always get it at a gas station. That does me, it does you good. Way better. People say you got to eat junk in the truck stops. No way. What about sushi at the gas station at the BP? BP sushi. That's what it says on it. I'd like to know this. Are people running vans or not? Because it says vans are the most common dry van type of trailers, and then flats and reefers for owner-operators. I think that's a curious question. And that's what I mainly see on the road. That's mainly what I've hauled, although I've done these other trailers back to vans. It seems like the easiest way to do it. It's certainly the easiest way to get into the industry is with a company that does dry vans, because that's where most of the loads are in dry vans. If they didn't drug test them, we'd all make a quarter mile. There would be a flood of guys willing to drive. There's already a flood of those people, right? That's what they say. But yeah, it doesn't help the industry. We want stricter policies, raises the pay presumably, because they can't find enough people to drive, and so they raise the pay, but they're raising everything but the pay. They put money into trucks, and then they add DirecTV and satellite. They just don't want to raise the pay. They just don't want to do it. And that's the thing that drivers say, everybody says needs to go up, and the one thing the companies won't do. Oh, yeah, well, we'll give them choice of truck color. That's what they want. Well, we'll give them a cell phone holder, or they can use that. They just won't do the one thing that they should do. Why? Because they can get people to work for nothing. So the color of the truck, that's what they're in. They're like, well, here you can pick from 4 different colors of trucks rather than, oh, we'll pay you. Plus, they know they can't take that back. That's why companies have gone to these sign-on bonuses and all kinds of bonuses, because that's only a one-time thing. They did that here, too. A couple years ago when the tax thing, they gave us all $1,000, but they didn't raise the pay. Same thing, because they don't have to give it to you the next year. We didn't get that this year. They knew the difference. They knew that they don't have to give that to you all the time. Karika, you have to drive. Your break is finished. Thank you for the videos. For a cup of coffee. I appreciate it. Oh, it's Claudio. Okay, good. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And get back to work, and thank you very much, and thanks for being here. Let's see. So Nathan does dry vans. Mad Maldy does dry vans. Tanker endorsement required because of what you're hauling in there. If you're in the industry, recommend no drugs. Yes, that's everybody. That's for everybody, no matter what they're doing. New people might not have considered the drug test. Yeah, they might. Maybe that should be something that is told in truck school. Of course, you've already taken your drug test, right? Yeah, 2001 exactly. I hope you brought enough pizza for everybody. Gotta say, before you love your Super 10. Yeah, does that have to get out there? We thought we were going to get through a day, but the Super 10, people that don't know, is like the worst transmission ever. It's been agreed. The government has banned them from the United States, and what they did is just take the trucks and took them out of all the trucks. They put them in a big container, took it out in the ocean, and sank it. And and some of them are still trying to shift out of their last gear. Does the CBD show in a drug scene? I don't know. I have no idea about that. People say it does not, and those people can answer that here. Oh, Mitchell's reefer, Tony is vans, and Misty is another reefer. So, no flats. I know Rhino does flats, so that's one flat. That's curious, right? So that goes, here I get more reefer drivers apparently. That's really interesting. OIDA says that vans are by far the most common. But then for owner-operators, flats, because I guess it pays more, presumably. So that's what they're going to want to do. Super Trucker 2017 is here. Good. It's good to see you today. I've been asking people whether they would go in a hotel. Do you think it'd be better to be at a hotel, or would you rather sleep in your sleeper? Because there's companies that are doing it the other way. Owner-operators pull a reefer for bigger choice of loads. Yeah, they can pick up anything, right? I didn't think about it like that. Some places don't like to load it because they cube out, right? Because your walls are thicker or whatever, so they cube. How about that? There's some math right there. The cubic feet inside the trailer is less. Oh, nice. There was this article that I saw right here. Some fleets embrace paid lodging for drivers as an alternative to sleeping in the truck. So what do you think about that? Would you sleep like that in a motel? Maybe. Oh, Kim was reefer and now van. Is it better, right? Better? Maybe not. Super trucker, hotel. But this is for over-the-road drivers, that companies are buying day cabs and putting you in a hotel every night. Work for a dry van company in the warehouse. Switching into the truck for regional, home daily. Hourly pay plus company will reimburse your tuition. That's pretty good. And hourly, love it. Are you going to get overtime there? I hope so. CBD here doesn't show the same metabolites. Ooh, it's college day here. But this, because those know what the manufacturers in those gummy bears. Yeah, you got to watch out for the food stuff. You got to only get it from name brand gas stations. You can't go to the off-brand ones. Depending on if the hotel is nice or not. This company that I showed there allows the drivers to make their own arrangements for sleeping. So I would probably pick one where there were a lot of them so I could build points up and get all those points. Because here the company lets the driver figure it out so that the company doesn't set it up. You set up your own room. Yellow puts their drivers in hotels. Yes, we had a Redaway drivers, same thing. Most of those people are hoteled every night. And and I don't know if they have to share a room, right? So you should always get your own room if this happened. But that's absolutely the way to go. Cash is King Trucking is here. Thank you for being here today. You made it. You lumped your own stop. Yikes. In New Hampshire. That's it was only $80 for a lumper? That's really something. How big was that load you had to lump? Loaded truck, or they're paying overtime. So you are getting it. So you're getting the best of both worlds. Hourly plus overtime and tuition reimbursement. All right. Now, there are drivers out here that sit like that write to me all the time. They're not being paid anything for all this time. Not being paid $600 a week. There are companies out here paying hourly plus overtime where you're going to get pay. Does the driver pay up front? No. And this the company gives them a card that the company pays for the motel room. So at this place, you get a card from them. They pay the motel. Here we do it a little different here. If you can't get back, they'll buy you a motel, so no problem. But you're back pretty much every day here, so you don't have the problem. Can I check out Monson & Sons out of Iowa? They run 389 Pete's and gliders. No yeah, see, it always bothers me that company wants to run a no ELD truck. Why is that? How many hours a day are you going to work there? I mean, I'm not somebody that wants to work 20 hours a day. I would rather make more than work more. I don't think extending your day is the way to make more money. The way to make more money. I think, being paid more is the way to make more money. Misty is out the door on your next load. That is not bad for being loaded. Not bad. You got some money out to get the next load. That's what we're talking about. Cash is King. 4 pallets broke down to 6, right? And I have on my board over there, which you can't see, I'm going to do a lumper video, ironically, that's on there for this week. So you took 4 pallets, made it into 6 pallets for $80 that you get to keep. So I know that you own the truck. So are you getting paid the 80? Okay, so I think you figured it out in the load, right? And so then that load, you'll just get that as 80 extra dollars for yourself. Exactly. Hey, Flavio, what's happening? It's good to see you today. Kim says you prefer the sleeper. I think depending on how you went over the road, I think the sleeper is probably a better for just random general freight. Certainly, you're going to need a regular route to figure out your motels because you can't figure this out at the last minute. Oh, I don't know. Now I got to figure out how to get a motel and stuff. So I think it can be annoying. You would day cab it. The only issue is storage. You wouldn't need as much gear, I guess. These people are home on a weekend, so that'd be another thing. If you're going longer than a weekend, you probably wouldn't be any good at a motel either. Mad Maldy starting a 10-hour break. Yikes. That means you're going to get off at early in the morning. You need to start like a 16-hour break so you can leave in the morning later. Done for the day. Why you start at 2 a.m.? Oh, that's like the worst time to get started. So tired. What does the lumper do? They take most of your money. Say you pull up to the dock. How long does a 53-foot trailer take to unload? You can't see more than 30 minutes. That's hilarious. Are you joshing with us? I don't think so, though. Here's the thing. A lumper, they unload your load. It's usually unloading, although I've seen it loading. It's usually a third-party company that works at the warehouse wherever you are, and they go, all right, you have so many pallets. You give me your bills, and it'll be X amount. I've seen it be $400. And how long does it take? It can take just as long as anything else, 4-6 hours. And they take a comm check, and you get a receipt. Yep. It's crazy. The places should take their own stuff off. No reason to work more speed if you have to break the law to make money. You're just risking. I agree. I mean, A place without an electronic log, what are they trying to do? Okay, Cash is King, you got the extra. Right, you make the brokers. I've seen that you always get that in there so that they cover that, but then so this time it worked out even better for you because it's not a whole load. Look, I don't know about you. I don't want to unlump a 53-foot trailer with 2,700 cases on it. Customer, although in the summer for you, if you got like a 50-degree load or 40 degrees, that might be very refreshing. Customer wait times are way better. We used to haul a lot of Kraft and Walmart and meat loads at Schugel, I can imagine. Kraft was the longest place I think I've almost ever waited in my life. A lot of cheese out of Wisconsin, wait times over 4 hours. You've never had that. Don't they do a lot of paper loads at Smith? Or are they not doing that kind of stuff? Paper, napkins, and the rolls, stuff like that. Is a van got usually 1 to 2 hours at most, 45 minutes? Oh, that's better. 45 minutes? Oh, we can give access to the load board, and the cents per mile generally works out to $1.20, $1.75. I'd want to be on the high end of that. You've had lumpers take 4 hours. You won't take those loads anymore. No forced dispatch is the way to go. If you can do that, right. Lumpers have to break down, restack. It's not easy money. Depends how big the load is, right? It's work. They're working. But some of them pay a lot. Sometimes, $400, most of the time the driver doesn't make that kind of money. Is it relatively often that the drivers have to unload their customers' freight? No. Most companies say no touch on it. So, oh my God, Jared had a $675 lumper fee. How big of a load was that? Pieces, pallets, oh my gosh. And presumably your company is paying for that. It's an open delivery drop trailer load. I'll be there tomorrow morning, easy as pie. Okay, that's better. Yeah, how many loads was that, Jared? Exactly. Oh my gosh. Is that one single lumper fee? Man, we're in the wrong business. It should be lumping answers here. I like Smith a lot. Employee owned. I don't think that ever impressed me at a place. 401k. Yeah, so's TMC. I can see, and they check your floor mats for dirt. I could see yourself retiring here. Might switch to the Walmart dedicated. That would pay better, right? And you'd have a better day of figuring out how your day is going, I think. Come to say a pallet jack and say so many numbers of pallets. Not sure why so long with the receivers. Say 2 to 3 workers. It never works out that way. They won't let you use their equipment either. So that's another way that they get you. They go, well, you can't use our equipment because of liability or whatever. So you're lumped the load by hand. Well, they may take it off with a pallet jack. Companies, if you're a company driver, the company should pay for that. Almost everyone does. Keep your receipt. By the way, if you're a company driver, most companies consider your lumper fee as an advance on your check. So when you turn in the paperwork, you need to turn in a receipt for that $600 or whatever it is. Otherwise, they'll take it out of your check. Do not lose that lumper receipt. It is worth whatever you just paid for that lumper out of your check. Trailer to dock less than an hour. That's the way it should be, right? It's not the lumper's fault. They do work hard, right? So does Tina Turner. It's the distribution center that saves money by contracting. That's correct. That's totally correct. That's why they have third-party contractors do it. Absolutely. No liability for them, right? You got paid $100 to assist in unloading over at Cherry Point, North Carolina, Marine Air Force Base. That might be worth it then. You only had to pay a lumper fee once at USX. That's pretty good for a place like that. I would assume they'd have more of them. 24 pallets of General Mills. Company pays you back after receipt is processed. Right. It's this. So that's what I'm saying. Man, General Mills. Cereal, presumably? At least it wouldn't weigh too much, a case of those. If it's employee owned, can I take my truck to the diesel doctor and have him turn the speed up? Because technically I would own the truck. Oh, that's very good. Cash is king. That's a very good question. Oh, well, I'm an owner of this company, and I say it's okay. I'm watching a Western Express back into a dock. 48 minutes later and 4 different people trying to help. They're just going to have to drop it and give the spotter $20 and say, would you back that in for me here? But that's back to training. But then, I didn't have any training, so I don't know what to say about that. How do you pass the CDL test if you can't back up? What about that? Who's doing this third-party testing, allowing you to do? We did... At my truck school, it was half a day was in the morning was driving on the road, and then the other half you switched. And so we came into the yard, and the other people were on the road. That's how it was every day. And you backed up and then got it. Next person backed up. That's how we did it all day. back and back. Then the rest of it was road, road, road. That's how it was. There wasn't, basically anything. They were there to teach you to drive. At least they're trying to help. At least somebody's getting out there to help. You love a place with lumpers. You got to work at the right place. It depends. I mean, I don't want to sit there all day. $6.75 is 2 weeks pay at some companies. I've had people write to me. Somebody wrote to me who may be on here, so I'm not going to say their name. Plus, I don't remember it. And their check was $185 net to them. Okay, now it's time to go. When that happens and there's no solution to it, and the year to date, your gross for the year is like $900 a week. So we know that week after week you're not making any money. If you're trying to make money and they don't have anything for you to do, it's time to go. And how does the trucking company do that? Because they don't make money until the truck runs. So if they're not giving you miles, they don't make money either. Just that kind of thing never made sense to me. How long to load a trailer? It seems to take very little time. It should take less time. Usually now the loads are palletized and wrapped. If you're in there right, you can be in and out. Craft is the longest I've ever waited, and I waited like a day there. I'm going to say it was 24 hours to get a load. It was just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I'm like, every once in a while, the thing moved, trailer moved. I mean, it's just crazy. You go in there, they go, oh, yeah, we're loading you. I think they were making the cheese as I was there. There were cows in the back. I mean, holy mackerel. Smith does paper a lot because they have their own warehouse business. Oh, they own an APU company and they have their own road trader heavy truck fleet. Oh, could you get into doing that too? I wonder if they would train you to do that. I always thought that might be an interesting job. Took a load to Denver. They wanted $500 for the lumper. Took 4 hours. Funny thing is they have me sign my bills without taking the comp check. Ah, nice. Did you get a receipt for that? That's stealing, though. You shouldn't turn that in. You also do water service. That might pay really good. The CDL school I went to, one day you drive, then the next day you would stay at the yard and practice backing. That's good, too. Rotate back and forth. That's a way to do it. All day, back in, back. By the time you're out of school, you've got hundreds of backs done. That's absolutely the way to do it. This, where there's 1,000 people and no trucks or whatever, that doesn't teach you anything. So if you don't know how to do it, I think that's a huge problem. Kasovic, right, I work for ABF. Oh, so getting paid sitting in the door, and you're welcome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it and for saying that. I want everyone in the industry to get paid the same way you do. And the reason people don't mainly is because they tolerate it. Companies shouldn't do it, but drivers shouldn't tolerate $800 a week check week after week after week. You just shouldn't. You don't have to do that anymore. You got to go. You don't want to leave for a penny. Somebody offers you a penny, no. It isn't worth it. But you can go get $500, $600 a week somewhere, beat it out of there, right? You got to get out of there. The loads that pay the most get you loaded the quickest. Well, really, it would seem like it'd be the other way around. I agree. If people, they're not getting miles, they probably made somebody mad and want you to quit. That might be. They might rather force you out. That's why I'm saying you have to look at, your whole situation. If you're not getting any money, what is it that you're doing about it, and what is it that they're doing about it? But if you're trying to do everything right and asking them, hey, can I run? And they don't have anything, and you sit around and don't get paid, it's just not a great place to work. Yeah, craft. I mean, it was the longest load I've ever. I'm like, what is going on at this place? You brought a load of spices into Super Value and took 40 minutes. That's really good at a grocery warehouse. 5 hours for the lumber to hand count. Oh my God. They had to count every McGee salt and spice that came off of that thing. Oh my gosh. 5 hours. So basically you were paying them just to count. Why can't, that's the other thing. Why can't these places just sign it? It comes in wrapped. And I guess, why isn't it just signed? You can buy a laptop from Amazon and they leave it in front of your door. And then you just call them and go, I never got it. They go, well, we'll just send you another one. Like they don't care. Here, if one thing of salt is missing, there's 50 forms. Then you have to call your company. And then they have to have an investigation and done. I'm like, here's $2. I'll just pay for it. Oh, no. We can't do that. We got to have an investigation. We don't know what happened. This is the sodium theft. We can't have this going on. I mean, that kind of stuff is just crazy making. Where I guess Amazon is just making so much money, they just leave stuff and they don't care. So, anything where I get stuff ordered, it's sent to the wife's work because I'm afraid that they're just going to leave it out in front of my door here. It's just crazy. You never get it back. Customers anymore. I know you did a great video about us. I did ABF, right? If I have any of your follow-up questions, I appreciate that. Look, ABF, and here in Indianapolis, at least, they show, hiring. Probably everywhere around the country, that'd be a great job for people. I've always thought that kind of thing. Free insurance, paid for your time. I mean, what is not to like about that? And then I get an email from people that they're not getting paid and don't know what to do, even though they're living in a large city. One of the things is you have to go work somewhere that's going to pay you for your time, like ABF, and a lot of places like that. It's way better to get paid for your time. Seems like trucking is the military. Hurry up and wait. Yeah, but at least in the military, you got paid a salary for the month, right? Here at the BP in Baton Rouge, you can get some sushi. I swear the dry van driver is taking 30 minutes to back his trailer. Bless his soul. Oh, right. That's a down south saying. You can get some boiled peanuts and wait. Years ago, you would sign SLC, shipper load and count. I don't know why they don't do that now. All right, we got your 5 pallets. See you later. You have an ABF yard near you. It's worth looking into if where you're at isn't paying you correctly or you just don't like it, you're not being treated well. I mean, the money you save on insurance and getting paid for all of your hours is a huge deal. That's not going to be the same kind of trucking. Here they have, road jobs where you go terminal to terminal, and they also have local jobs every day where you pick up P&D freight. You do a bunch of stops. It just depends. I'm not saying ABF is maybe the best job in the world, but certainly it's a job where you get paid for all of your time. And they just had, I don't know if ABF is part of this, we'll ask here, this contract negotiation. They're Teamsters too, right? You're about to ratify this new 5-year contract, so I think that's really good. If ABF is part of it, I'm not sure. If you report 2 packages missing to UPS, they'll cut you off and not deliver. Oh, really? After one time, they require signature. They should require a signature every time. How they do it like this, I'm sure many of you get an Amazon package, and I come home and there's just a package outside the door. I mean, I live in an apartment, for God's sakes. Why can't there be a signature on everything? And the thing is, if you call them, they go, oh, okay, we'll just give you another one. You sat at a place for 21 hours at a dock and never got paid for it. USX, that's a problem, right? They're not the greatest. Or now you get paid for every time you get loaded or unloaded. That's better. See, so you were able to get it. USX got you a start, but look, the pay there is low. It's just terrible. They complain they can't get drivers, but then they don't pay them, so people leave. Roderick got 10 pounds of crawfish. Nice. They'll let you sign if they let you sign. Most places won't let you sign that now. Some places won't let you. You always cross it out, and once you walk, you put it back on there. Well, their copy wouldn't have it, though, if there was a problem. Your contract is separate time. Okay, so I wondered about that. It should be the same, but they separated you last contract. Well, I'm sure you saw then that the Teamsters contract is up for renewal, and they're going to vote on it, right? And they get a 5-year extension, right? 4-year extension. They're getting a nickel, something to that effect. You ratified ours till 2022. So if you started there now, you at least got a job for 3 years before there's any problem. I don't anticipate any problems, but the master Teamster thing with Yellow and all these other companies is up right now until May. They're going to vote, and it's a big problem. But I think it'll pass. I'd vote for it. I personally would. They're getting raises. They're getting retroactive. Who gets a retroactive raise? Nobody. Free health insurance? Walmart dedicated is after 2 hours. Though, because that's a Walmart requirement. Well, see, Kim, Smith may be great, but they can say that all they want. They can say it's a Walmart requirement. Smith can still pay you, though. You could always tell them that. You go, well, you can always pay me. That's the thing. Companies like to pass that off and say, oh, well, because they don't pay it. That's not my problem. I'm an employee, so I expect to get paid. That you, Smith, or whatever company doesn't get paid, that sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. My problem is I get paid. That's how I would explain it to them. They don't get to pass off, well, they don't pay us. That's tough. That's too bad for you because I get paid. So that's how I would explain it to them. You delivered a wrap pallet with 100 extra cases of beef yesterday. That was $10,000, but I didn't see it. Yeah, well, I mean, if that's how they wrap it up, right? $10,000 of beef? Holy moly. What would Clara Peller think about that? I believe Walmart are local multi-stop loads and about 1,800 to 21 for Walmart. That's pretty good. $200,000. There's our 6 figures always. Hey, Kentucky, what's going on? Right. If Amazon delivers your package, to take a picture of where the item was left. That doesn't mean it's there when I get back. It's my door is open to the outside. So, that package could be gone before I return. And so they didn't deliver it to me. I never got it. They didn't complete the delivery. Sitting it out on my porch is not delivery. I don't think. It should be signature. At least if it's over $50 or something, at least make somebody sign for it. USX is not that good, but it was able to get you CDL, do a little time. It's a way to start. It is a way to start in the industry. But even in the industry, as I looked into it, their pay is way less than you could start somewhere else. So that first year for people coming in now, rather than there, what if they went somewhere else and got 20 more cents a mile for a full year? That's a lot of money difference and would still have the same 1 year experience. That's what I'm saying about USX. Oh, so you think that new contract is going to go through too? That's what I think. One thing I missed is they're keeping the pension contribution at 25% of what it's supposed to be, what ABF pays. Yeah, I didn't read the whole thing or understand it 100%. The pension should be fully funded, of course, so that it can pay later, naturally, because that's part of the great thing of a union company is you get a pension. It should have always been fully funded. Used to work at G&P, right, just had issues with some office staff. Yeah, I've recommended, I haven't done a video about them, but I've recommended G&P also to people that write to me from the Southeast. So I say, oh, here's the thing, a Wild Bill. I was wondering if anybody was going to get the Clara Peller reference on the beef, right? That's really good. Clara Peller, for people that don't remember, and I don't know why I would say this because if you don't remember, she used to do a commercial for Wendy's. Where's the beef? She would ask, where's the beef? Her and her old friends, 3 old ladies, would go into Wendy's and ask for stuff, but where's the beef? So, look, I thought it was funny. Only me, I guess. Me and Wild Bill. We're both in our extreme upper 30s, though, if you know us. So, you did the thing where you deliver packages for Amazon. Ironically, I'll tell you, I do that 1 day a year. We'll talk about that in a minute. You left them on the sidewalk at locked apartment buildings and it didn't pay enough for you to sit there and call somebody. I do that 1 day a year. All right. So Amazon has a delivery program where people in their car can go deliver packages. And in Indianapolis, at least at Christmas time, Christmas Eve, last year paid $45 an hour flat rate. And that's net to you money. And so I drive down there every year at Christmas. I've done it for 3 years now, Christmas Eve, and go deliver packages on Christmas Eve. Just get a route and go deliver packages. They fill your car up and you go deliver a bunch of packages and they go, it'll take 4 hours or whatever. So it pays you $180 or whatever. So I do that 1 time a year. That's it. Normally you'd think it's 18 or 20 here in Indianapolis. Not enough. But for $45, no tax, I'm in. And because I make less than $600 a year from them, you never have to pay any tax. You don't get 1099 on it. You have to make $600 from a single entity. I never do from them. So it's just straight up money. Being a new driver, what do you need to watch for? I got a job offer from a place who sponsors your CDL and one who does their own training. Yeah, there's a lot to look out for. I ask them about what happens after the training. That's the most important part. How much are you going to make? You can make 33 cents or you can make 53 cents. That is a huge, huge difference. And really, one of the better things you can do is find a place that has a terminal near you. Because if there's a terminal near you, you know at least their trucks go by your house and they can at least get you home. You don't have to drive 7 hours. So that should be part of it. You've never had problems with them, meaning G&P. You've been in all the office have been good to you. That's your experience. Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't work out, right? You have a buddy who completed the SAP program. He's looking to go back into trucking. What's an SAP program? I'm probably not thinking of what that is, right? Any ideas? Yeah, tell them to come on out, right? I got tons of videos about it. Look into it. Do research. Do research. Don't just take the first place that will get you, give you pizza. Call your state, too. Have them call the state and see if the state will pay for his truck school. Many states now pay for truck school. There's no charge and no payback. So that's the first place. Call the Department of Unemployment. Get them to pay for it. Just picked up the load on your way to Houston, 198 miles loaded. Well, that's not a super long load. It should deliver today, right? Your new slogan should be, where's the money? Yeah, that should be every driver's slogan. Where is the money? Pay me. because a company doesn't get lumper, doesn't get stops. I've had them say, oh, we don't get stop pay, so you don't get stop pay. I'm like, no, that's not how it works as an employee. That companies try that stuff is just ridiculous. 48 at one place and 40 cents. That's considerable. It's 20% pay raise. You're about a half an hour from each place and have to stay a year. Well, you don't have to, but we can talk about that later. One is a dairy tanker. The other is fruit transport. Fruity. Look, 48 cents is 20% more than 40 cents. So, that is something to consider. 20% more. Call your state, though, and see if the state pays for it. You do not have to be unemployed to have the state pay for your CDL at states that pay for it. Some of them have grants and stuff like that will send you to truck school at no charge. Then you don't have a contract. You can just still go wherever you want. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about it. The good thing, neither of those things will explode. In an accident or somebody runs into you, and they might make a nice smoothie if you put the two of them together. You do the same thing, make as close to as 600 as I can from Amazon. Yeah, I only do the one day though. I do not do it any other days a year because it doesn't pay enough here for me. It's an hour each way to drive down there too. So, but the one day a year, because they pay more Christmas Eve because they have so many packages going out last minute, you just throw it out there. What department should you contact? Whatever your state's Department of Unemployment is called. Workforce Development is what they call it here. Whatever the state is, and say, look, I want to go to truck school. Do you have any kind of grants, programs to pay? Some do, some don't. It varies. And some of them, sometimes when they run out of grant money, then they don't do it anymore. Sometimes it renews at the first of every month. It just totally depends on your state. And so that's one way to do it. And then you don't have a contract with anybody. I don't know what it is in the state of Michigan. I live here in Indiana, just south of you. Just get with them. There's some bureaucrat there just waiting to take your phone call. Believe me, not doing anything. They would love to look that up for you because they love doing that kind of stuff. And if it's free, that's even better. That's the best way to do it. Then you're not obligated to anybody, and you might have got your license at no charge. With us, at a regular truck school rather than going there. You could still go haul for 48 cents a mile if you wanted to once you get your license. It wouldn't stop you, but you wouldn't have any kind of 1 year hanging over you. You can move along if you don't like it. Maybe you decide, oh, I'm lactose intolerant. I can't work here, that kind of thing. You never know. You don't have those pills that you take for it. It just depends. Maybe you have a citrus allergy. I'm not sure. Whatever, you find just a better job. You move. There's a lot of things can happen in your life where you need to be able to, be mobile, be ready to go. That didn't happen with Clara Peller, but it could happen. It certainly could happen with you. Well, as I wrap up to at the end of 3:30, let's see what people think about this motel or sleeper. I'm saying depending on the route, the sleeper might be the way. But if you can get a regular route, boy, motels, that sounds pretty good to get a shower every night, get your own toilet in there, man, TV. Holy mackerel! You could order a bunch of movies and charge it back to your company and say, "Oh, I have no idea how those movies got on there. I didn't order any of those." So that is, that's a real problem. Just don't use their Wi-Fi to connect to other companies and try to get a different job because it gets charged back on the hotel card and then you get busted for that. That's not the way to do it. Holy mackerel. And so I want to thank everybody for being here. Well, I'm going to do another transition. How about this? Look at this. I got all this fancy stuff. I got to use it at least. So because I have to go make my company some money too, or they will get all upset, of course, as they go broke. And thanks, everybody, for being here. We're going to wrap it up. Thanks, James, for being here. I appreciate you being here and everybody that is on here every week. I'm live every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So stop by, say hi. There'll be more videos out this week, and you can always write to me, right? markettruckinganswersnation.com. Blue Line, your tuition was $7,000. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? $7,000 seems to be about the average price. I've seen them sort of creeping into 5 digits now, which is kind of getting disappointing. Look, it's still worth it. Way less than college. People go right here to Purdue, spend $80,000 and make $35,000. Trucking is totally the way to go. Way over college. Unless you're going to be a doctor or something, there's probably no point in going to college for anything. That's what I think about it anyway. Although they don't like it when I say it at Purdue, but there's nothing they can do about it. I'm headed out to work. I do thank everybody for being here, and we will be back soon on the next one, of course, and I will see everybody right here next week. Thanks for stopping by.